Are you there?
I'm here, mate. I'm
Beautiful.
Here, yeah.
Right. Excellent.
We can hear each other.
We are ready to rumble. All right, so we're recording. Right, folks, this week, episode number 3, Richy Vida.
How do?
How you doing, man? You good?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me, mate, but I'm a bit concerned that you wanted to call this early in the morning.
Well, how are you? You okay?
Well, yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
This lockdown thing's obviously... it's not too bad, actually, but I just thought it's a bit early in the morning, really. 8:30,
It's a bit of disgrace hitting the booze at this time.
Well, what should we say?
Slange.
Cheers, my man.
Beautiful. Mate, I've got to say...
Thank you very much. Thanks for asking me to come on, mate.
I've got to say...
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much for your daily lockdown tunes that you've been putting out. I'm loving that.
Oh, thank you, mate. Thanks. I just thought, I mean, it's what I do anyway.
Yeah.
And if I can't ride, then I can still play music. So I just thought I'll do a video every day, as long as I can.
Yeah.
Of playing just requests, really. If I can do it, I'll do it. So,
awesome. Well, it's brilliant, mate. I'm loving it.
Keeps people ticking over, doesn't it?
Have you seen what a few people have said? You should do a COVID lockdown album or playlist or something on Spotify.
Lockdown songs album.
Yeah, mate, it's a brilliant idea.
I might be able to get rich off it.
Good luck.
Oh dear. What have you been up to anyway? How's it going for you, this lockdown business?
Just, in all honesty, it's having a financial impact, obviously, with sponsors and people haven't got the money to buy their merch, and my tours are obviously, I imagine you've put a hold on potentially on your tours as well. So,
yeah.
The first one at the end of May, I've got all the payment for that, but I can't use that money because I might have to refund everybody. I don't know yet.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's having an impact as far as that goes. But everything else, I mean, you know what an editor's life is like. I'm basically I sit indoors editing most days anyway. So.
Yeah, in terms of productivity,
yeah.
It's fine for us because we've got loads of stuff to do, which is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
The bike videos. I finished our last Toro video last night, by the way. That went up last night.
Awesome. Is that the one where you went off road? The off road one. I watched that.
The first half of it, which I wanted to be longer, had to be cut short for only one reason: that my partner in crime, that was on the other end of the intercom to me, his audio disappeared.
Oh mate,
so
I'm gutted.
So I just kept checking your audio, and I was like, folks, if you've seen this video, it's our last trip down to Toro in Feb, which seems like might as well have been last year.
Yeah, mate, unreal.
Feels forever ago.
Yeah, it does.
But Andy TMF weren't on comms or even filming, so it's pretty much just me and Bruce. And you were having audio issues, weren't you, with your audio adapter?
I was, yeah. I don't think I knew at the time that I was.
You kept mentioning. I do remember you mentioning that you felt that it kept popping out.
That's right, yeah.
But when it's in. But when it was in, it were crackling like mad. So there's obviously a bad connection there. So
yeah.
I pretty much just had to get rid of all of it. Otherwise, everyone would have been going, "What's wrong with Bruce's audio? It sounds horrible." I just thought I'll get rid of all the bad and just leave, the good.
Yeah, I've ended up screwing that in place now, so it's permanently like plastic welded into the GoPro adapter. So
yeah, and it's solid. The connection's solid.
Yeah, it's been, touch wood, it's been beautiful so
good.
far. Yeah.
Yeah. But I wanted that day's ride to be a lot longer because it were such a great day. But
it was.
I just thought there's no point making it stretch, any longer than I have to. So I just thought I'll put the off-roading bit at the back end of it.
Yeah, nice. You look like you had some fun there on the off-road. Lyndon,
if you do see this, you threw me in at the deep end there, pal.
You'll be all right. Famous last words.
That's Lyndon's. I think, or I thought halfway through that, because our last few trips down there, I've been saying to Lyndon, "I love this off-roading. I've really got a flair for it again." Yeah. I bet Lyndon were thinking, "All right,
yeah, let's see."
Oh, you'll be all right, mate.
Yeah.
Honestly, there were one bit and it was almost vertical, and I just thought, "There's no way anyone can go up that. There's no way." And then he started, the chat started to be like, "This is actually real." I'm like, and trying to suck it up and think,
yeah,
well, I've got to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I just thought, oh no. Going up it, I'm like, Absolutely crap myself.
I've got one. When I went down in early December, and he sort of tricked me into going off road as well, and it was a case of, oh god, I'm gonna have to do it. Well, he did, yeah. I thought I was just doing some road stuff on the GSs, and literally like got up in the morning, and he just sort of threw me the body armour for the off-road and said, down there. And we'd been out to dinner with all the guests the night before, and they were all going, and it was like, oh god, I've got to do it now. So that was it. I ended up doing it. Oh.
That's the thing. You can't sit very well saying, I'm all right. No, I'll not do that.
Well, I did that day when you went off-roading. That one there, I was just like, nah, I've been here, I've done this. No thanks.
Someone commented on the video actually last night saying, where's Andy and Bruce on this one? I said, well, Andy had to go off doing something on the GSs, and Bruce pretended he had to wash his hair.
Yeah.
But genuinely, halfway, I mean, don't get me wrong, now looking back at it, it was great fun. But at the time, I just kept thinking, this is too much. Yeah. I've got to be flying home in a minute.
I was going to say, I've got a plane to catch.
Honestly, genuinely, I felt like I'd been, I don't know, boxing for a week. My body, I was like, oh, every muscle. You know, when you go to the gym for the first time in God knows how long. And
go to the weight.
But if you're used to doing it and then you have some time off it and you go back, you still think you can do what you did.
Yeah.
But you probably can in strength, but your body's just like, whoa.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be like this when we eventually get set free again and we can get back on the road on the bikes. My plan is literally to put a tent on the bike and I'm hitting the road. So I want to try and do a week, 2 weeks, just hit the road all around the UK and meet up with as many people as I possibly can. And I know that I'm going to be in tatters. For the first few days, I'll be in tatters because I'm used to doing big miles, but obviously now I'm not. So it's going to be like going back to square one again.
Yeah, I'm used to doing big miles. When you had that KTM straight after me, and you said you put a post up saying, I've just I think you only had it for a week or two. I've just done 3,500 miles.
That's right.
No way has he done that. And I saw your picture of the mileage.
I had to put the speedometer thing up, didn't I? The mileometer.
Yeah, and I went straight onto my photos. There's no way he's done this. Jesus Christ. I've just done 3,500 mile in a week. Or
They're not there to look at, Rich, are they? You got to get on and ride the blooming things.
You're right. You're right, mate. Yeah.
Mind you, you end up taking that Africa Twin up to Scotland in the winter for the test ride. That's a good effort.
Oh, mate. Even again, that feels like it. I said to Graham, who let me have his place up in Dornoch, the other day, it feels like it didn't happen. Just feels like it didn't even happen.
Yeah.
And I've just got this weird visual of it, or visual on YouTube of this trip that somehow came from somewhere, but it's just, we're all settling into this lockdown business where, you can't be with people, you can't see your friends and family. We can do what we're doing now, and that's pretty much it. But it just feels weird.
Yeah.
But I will say though, at the moment, because of it, I've got no inclination to ride the bike at all. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, I can't wait to, but until we've got the go ahead, then I'll not touch it. I understand some people have no other transport or they need it for whatever reason, but I'll just not rather than torment myself, I'll just not touch it.
Yeah.
Until we've got the
I know what you mean.
Do so.
I know what you mean. I mean, there's a lot of discussion and debate about it, isn't there? And I suppose as long as if nothing happens when you're out on the bike, there is no harm in it. But can you guarantee nothing's going to happen? And that's, to me, it's like, well, I can't guarantee that. No matter how good a rider you think you are and how careful you think you're going to be, things happen. I mean, I've just put a video out. Was it yesterday or today? Of the clan ride up in the Lake District. A pheasant ran out in front of the geezer in front of me. He slams on his brake. Bang, that's that. And these things just happen. So
So you put the video out of that happening?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
wow.
I edited it because I didn't want to show the geezer coming off his bike. It's not fair for him. It's not fair for his family or his friends.
And it's not nice, is it?
It isn't nice. I have watched that clip umpteen times over, literally frame by frame, because in my head I'm like, what could I have done to avoid that? Because I feel horrendous, rear-ended, a total random stranger, and it could have been so much worse. So I've watched it, and it makes me feel sick to watch it. And obviously, I'm no stranger to a crash these days. So,
but that's the thing, though, isn't it? You're a completely experienced safe rider, and then something as simple
things happen
as wildlife. That's it.
It's literally, it was a split-second decision.
Yeah.
I made the decision to overtake, thinking he's committed past. There was an option. There was a bungalow, a wee cottage on the right, and I thought he's going too quick to turn in there, so I'll overtake him. It's a nice big long straight, and literally, as I hit the throttle, he whacked his brakes on, and I thought, he's going to do a last minute, an emergency stop and into the right.
Yeah.
So I sort of, in a split second, thought I'll come left and go up the inside of him, and obviously he just stopped dead in the road, and bang, that was that.
Well, really, it could have been one of three, couldn't it? He could have stopped exactly where he could have gone left, he could have gone right. So you've got to just pick one of those and hope he does the opposite.
You do.
As it turned out, it were the same. So.
Yeah. But, this is what we say, things happen, don't they? Shit happens. And if that happened now, and you ended up taking ambulance staff off the road to come and deal with me, I just thought it doesn't sit with me, so I'll not ride at the moment. Mind you, I've said that I am riding. I am taking my wife in and out of work 2 or 3 times a week on the back of the bike, because I don't want her on the trains. So
hi, Mrs. Teapot. You keep your hands to yourself, Vida.
She's like, which one's Richie? Is that the good-looking one that sings? Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
That in Spain, when I was saying, you were saying she wasn't feeling very well, so I'm like, I'll blow you a virtual kiss, and you like, keep your hands to yourself, Vegas. Reason Teapot keeps calling me Vegas is the fact that we both did this XL motorbike show for MCN, isn't it? And the guy that organised it all, Nathan Millwood, put on the official programme. Well, one it was all the communication between him and myself was all Richy Vida.
Yeah.
And then on the big actual programme, it was like I think one were Richy Vega, one were Vida spelt Veda. But
it was
so basically, Bruce has been ripping me ever since. And I think I will forever be Richy Vegas to Bruce.
Dickie Vegas. Love it. Right, okay, well, shall we crack on with questions? Because I've had a quick look I've brought up like all the different social media platforms where I posted to say you were on the podcast, and there's a lot of questions, man.
Oh, lovely.
You folks have pulled it out the bag here. There are a lot of questions. So
thank you very much. Before we go on to that, can I just say I digressed about what feels like half an hour ago. You asked me if I'd cancelled all my tours. Just for the record, I've not cancelled any tours. We've got obviously the Wildbad Weekender, the end of July, and we've got our PCOS, which is always the beginning of October. So at the moment, everything's safe. But as you said, again, I can't do anything with the money.
Yeah, until we know.
The money's all still in a pot. So everyone that's booked on, it's safe. Don't worry about that. Mm-hmm. For the time being, the gigs, the trips will stay until we hear otherwise. And then whether we have to reschedule, I don't think it'll be anything like cancelling, but at worst case I would say reschedule. But for the time being, don't worry, everything's as it should be.
Yeah, my experience with the Spanish tours in particular, with Brittany Ferries, they very rarely, in fact they've never offered me a refund. Like, remember last year, a couple of the ferries, was it last year? Year before, a couple of the ferries basically needed new engines, so they cancelled a lot of the crossings, and they weren't offering refunds. They basically said we'll give you a partial refund, and then basically we can't now take you to Bilbao or Santander, but we can take you to like one of the ports in France, down the coast in France. So they took you to the nearest one and then gave you like one night's accommodation in a ferry in a hotel or something. So
but even that, talking of Brittany Ferries and things, and being in Spain and doing this and doing that, mate, it just feels like we've had this gift of being able to traverse the world at our own will.
Yeah.
You especially, the whole world.
Yeah.
And then And we just kind of got a little bit. I kind of got a little bit of blasé with it.
Yeah, we do.
It's
Absolutely.
It's just a little trip to Spain.
Yeah.
And, you know, people that have never done it will be like, "What?"
Yeah, you take it for
back
granted.
to Spain. You take it for granted so much, and I think now, because of all this, now it seems so far away. I don't mean in time, but it's out of reach. Well, it is completely out of reach at the moment. But, you know, when it eventually does come back and we can do it, I think it'll be euphoric. It'll be. I guarantee the next first trip that we do abroad will be the best.
I can't wait. I just can't wait. I'm hoping my first tour, Spanish tour, is the last week in May, and that's the Picos. And I mean, you know, in my head, I'm thinking that's just not going to happen. That's, you know, but then. In your heart, you're thinking, "Oh God, please go on." It's still 2-3 months away. It might happen.
That's it. There could be every possibility.
You just don't know, do you?
No.
Yeah,
but I didn't want to. I didn't want to jump on not the bandwagon so much, and I don't mean to be blasé about the situation, obviously. But I didn't want to just like jump on it straight away and say, "Right, it's all cancelled" or whatever.
Yeah.
Because if it does go ahead, everyone is going to be so happy and so appreciative of it.
Yeah.
You know, myself and yourself included.
Yeah.
It'll be fantastic. It will.
Yeah. And I think if you cancel, just thinking on it with a business head, if you cancel like for Brittany Ferries, if you cancel those sailings now, you ain't getting any money back.
No.
And because they will not cancel anything until they're absolutely forced by the Spanish or British governments to say, right, there is no longer any travel. They won't cancel that crossing.
No.
And if you do cancel it, and then all of a sudden we can go, good luck trying to get a sailing, because everyone's going to be
that'll be at our expense completely. So
yeah.
So it'll be bye-bye. It'll be bye-bye chicken strips, bye-bye wild bad.
Oh mate, don't.
So let's hope it doesn't come to that.
I literally, my last official day in the old bill was 21st of March. So as of the 22nd of March was my first proper full-on day, self-employed. Off we go. 22nd of March, the country shat itself. The economy nosedived. Half of my sponsors all pulled out, and I was just like, "Oh my God!" My tenants got laid off. I was like, "Oh, what am I going to do?" But
no,
that's like 2.5 weeks ago now, and I'm very positive about it now. I've got to say, I kind of think
you have to be. Otherwise, you just go down with it.
Absolutely,
you've got to be positive, and just remember that we're all in this together, aren't
Absolutely.
we? So it's not as if your business is struggling.
Yeah,
everybody's is in the same boat. So
globally as well, isn't it? You know, this is just about every single country on the planet. So you know, we'll get through this. We'll figure it out. Anyway, right, question time.
Let's go for it. Oh, I'm excited.
Right, as usual, we will go.
Just let me stop you again.
It's going to be like this, is it?
If a question comes that I'm not happy with, or I don't want to answer,
tough.
Do I have? Okay, no problem. Tough.
Lie, make it up.
Let's go.
You've got to answer. You've got to answer absolutely everything. Right, we're going to my clan first of all. My one and only plug for it, Patreon clan members. I'll go through your questions first. John Gore, would you consider a wild bod? Wild bod? I've only had one.
Hang on a minute. So it's either Vegas, Vega, or wild bod. See the kind of stuff I have to put up with him.
It's my party. I'll sing what I want.
Touche, go for it.
Right, would you consider a wild bad teapot TMF weekender in the south of the UK? Oh, blimey. Jeesh.
I guess that's open to all of us. What? Just a trip, a weekend trip of just those guys?
I think he means, you know how you do your wild bad weekenders?
Oh, I see.
If we did a joint one, and I'll say on my part, my initial reaction to that is no, because that's your thing. The weekender's your thing. I love going to it. I love it. I had a great time last year.
Thank you. I hope you're coming to this one, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I'll be there.
Good man.
Because we've got a natural crossover, and a lot of sort of the people that follow your channel follow my channel, and we've all got similar interests, haven't we? So it's a good weekend. It's a really good weekend.
Yeah. And obviously we're both very handsome gentlemen.
Obviously.
Yeah.
That's natural.
Yeah.
And obviously TMF came as well, and there was someone missing. Someone missing last year. Who was it?
Wait a minute.
It's that other guy, isn't it? The other one that plays at this motovlogging lark.
Tom. No.
Sirloin steaks or something? Is it? Something?
God knows.
Something to do with meat. Can't remember what his name is.
His name just escapes me.
Here's to you, Chops.
Chops.
Yeah, for me, I kind of think the Weekenders is your thing. So I don't know. If there was a big enough demand, maybe, but
I know what you're saying. It'd be great if we could do something collectively, whether it be not necessarily a weekender, but if let's say we all decided to go on tour together, and made a plan of saying, right, on Friday night we're going to be staying here, or we meet everyone, arrange to meet people for a drink, and then the next day we're going to this part of the country.
I think that's a great idea.
To do like a moving tour of meeting people. I think that'd be fantastic.
Well, I mean that's literally what I will be doing myself when we're set free again.
Yeah.
So, and using social media to say, right, I'm coming to such and such a place, then that place, then this place and that place. And if we could get you, if you guys wanted to come in on that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate, like, you've got your own business to run and the bands and stuff, but if we can, do a day or an evening somewhere, that would be awesome.
Yeah. It would. Well, we can make it happen, can't we? Definitely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely. So to answer that question, John, not exactly that, but maybe... we could do like a version of it. Yeah. If that's of course what you meant. But yeah, I definitely think a collective trip together. Would be fantastic. I do.
Yeah, awesome. Well, TMF and I were chatting about this on the last one, and India was being mentioned.
He's a rum lad. He's a rum lad.
I was so happy that he relaxed and got a bit tiddly, and the proper Andy came out, and you know what it's like, isn't it?
Well, I've not seen that yet.
You haven't watched it?
Did the Andy that we love come out?
Yes. Yeah. Well, not completely. He was still a little bit reserved, believe it or not, people. Yeah. Well, the video comes out on Monday.
That's why I've not seen it.
Well, the podcast goes live every Wednesday. Wednesday's going to be my podcast day, and then the video of the podcast will go live on the Monday. I think the Monday at the moment. So I want to be putting at least 2 videos a week out on my YouTube channel, and I'm doing the podcast anyway, so it makes sense to chuck, to do the video one, chuck that one out.
Yeah.
But it is weird because it does, on one sense, it helps your analytics because the watch time is much longer generally. You know, like the videos, the podcasts are 2.5, 3 hours long. So people are watching for 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. But you do tend to find that people click on it and almost straight away within first 10 seconds they click off. So
because of the length, you mean, or
maybe because of length and because they're not quite sure what it's all about. So
the format and everything.
Yeah. So your viewer retention, and your views take a massive hammering, but the watch time is obviously sky high, so it's a tricky one. But I enjoy doing it, and I'm going to keep doing them.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. We all have to be. I have this conversation with people. I mean, you must have had it as well. When people get in touch to ask you questions on how to get started, or this is something I really feel I want to do, blah blah. My thing is, I always say, just build the channel that you want. Yeah. Because if you build it, if you build a channel that happens to be really successful, or end up being successful with something that you don't necessarily enjoy doing, you can't then go on to do anything else because you've got to carry on that to keep it growing.
And you haven't you won't have the staying power either.
No.
Eventually you'll get hacked off with it if you're not enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly. But if you build it just being yourself, and you build a loyal audience being you, and doing everything exactly how you want to do it, that's a winner, isn't it? Yeah, and that's the thing. To me, anyway, I think definitely.
Right, Goose.
Next. Goose. Is this Goose?
I don't know if this is Goose from
Motorrev
lads. I don't think it is, but it's just Goose. Richie, do you not think it's time to get on an adventure full time? If so, which one? Ooh, an adventure full time.
I'll take that as Goose. You mean adventure bike, obviously I can't go on a full-time adventure like.
I think it must
family.
be. Yeah.
Bye-bye family, see ya. Bye-bye family, bye-bye business, I'm off.
If you were committed, you would.
Give over. There's no one more committed than me, pal.
Yeah, I think he does mean an adventure bike.
Adventure bike. If you saw the recent series I did on the Africa Twin, the new Africa Twin, there's something. And
plugging his channel again. Plugging his channel.
If we when we were in Toro, I felt that I'd just come off the. This was only probably a couple of weeks after I did this Scottish trip on this new Africa Twin, and I felt I had to stop myself. To you, I don't know if you remember saying, "Hang on, Bruce. I feel like I've mentioned the Africa Twin far too many times on this video already." Yeah. And you went, "Yes, mate, you have." So I don't know. For whatever reason, I don't know. I always think there's a certain bike for everyone. I know Bruce loves his GS.
How did you know that? I never mention it.
Quite rightly so, because they're mega bikes. But there's something about the Africa Twin I don't know. It's just, I don't know if I'm a secret Honda boy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I mean, I genuinely, there's something about that bike that makes me feel as passionate as this one makes me feel. So, I don't know. I would love to be putting an Africa Twin in here, but we shall see. This one will never go, but I do think, the Africa Twin at the moment, adventure bike for me, fits perfect. I do. So. That's the answer to that question.
Cool. Right. Stop clicking your pen.
Oh, I am, aren't I?
Yeah. That's all you're going to hear on the audio is click, 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 click.
So I'm just waiting for Honda to give me one, that's all.
And the bike. Do you know what? I said this with Andy with TMF. I have never ridden a Honda ever. Well, I have a quick shot of a mate's Fireblade back in 2009, 2010, when we did a manic Blatt to Land's End and back, and literally for the last little stretch, 5 mile to Land's End, he said, have a shot of the blade and I'll jump on your Gixxer. So we swapped then, and that's the only time I've ever ridden a Honda. And I just got in touch with Honda UK before, well, they contacted me, I think. Cheers, Rob, by the way, for the link. Oh, was that your timer?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Just got to restart the DSLR. Bear with us, folks. La-di-da-di-da. Yeah, so I just got in touch with Honda UK, or they got in touch with me, and that was all set up. And then, sadly, COVID struck. So, but once we're set free, I will be swinging my leg over some Hondas. Is that you back in the room? Beautiful.
Let me restart my little timer so we don't miss it.
Sweet.
See, that half an hour has just zipped by.
Mate, it's unreal. It's unbelievable, isn't it? I remember, I think it was Andy, TMF, saying, he said, what are we doing, an hour? And I was like, probably more like 2, maybe 3. And he was like, what? What are we going to talk about for that length of time? 2.5 hours, and we literally had to ramp it right up to finish.
Yeah.
So
it's like when we did Nathan asked me to do the thingy at Excel about the American tour. Again, I've been used to playing on stage for 20 years or more, playing to audiences, but playing music. Guitar in my hand, no problem. I can play, no problem whatsoever, to as many people. And I just thought, how can I? I don't know how I feel about talking for half an hour about the American trip, and I just thought, I hope I don't have any moments where I'm like.
But you're not, though, are you? You end up talking before you know it. It's like, well, that's your half-hour slot done. You're like, I've not even got to the trip yet.
Yeah, I've got so much more to tell you.
Yeah. I'm like that when I do like my club talks or like the presentations and stuff that I do about the world trip. I went around the world, Did
you?
Yeah.
You must tell me about it one day.
I'm very much like that. It's just like, God, you've got 45 minutes, and you're like, I could talk for about 4 hours on this.
Yeah, yeah. You could talk for half an hour on about one episode of it, or one section, or one country, or one part of it. That's easily. Yep.
Right. Next question, Jack Glassy. What was the best place you have ever eaten at whilst out on the bikes? Oh, interesting.
That is a good one. And I am a foodie, definitely. I love it. I love my food.
Me, I could take it or leave it.
Best place I've eaten at. I'll tell you something. Lyndon knows good places at Toro, don't he? Whenever you go down to Toro,
good food.
You eat like kings, don't you? Always.
Yeah.
But I can't.
I can't really think. for me, actually, as soon as you mentioned that, I was trying to run through my head somewhere, and as soon as you mentioned that, I suddenly thought, you know, the Blue Restaurant at Toro, the really
Santiago's.
Santiago's.
Yeah, it looks nothing on the outside, and you go inside, and it's amazing. The food there is incredible.
I think probably there's probably some of the best steak I think I've ever had.
Yeah, I think if a restaurant sticks in your head, there's a good reason, and that's definitely up there, definitely.
Santiago's in what's it called again? Al-Hudin. Alarin El Grande. That's the place to go. Southern Spain, for me anyway. Is that it for you?
That's a good one. It is. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. But again, that's. I will say, as a little addition to that question, that's one of the things that I love about going on tour. Not just the being on the bike and going off and enjoying this amazing scenery and everything, but you know you're going to be eating amazing food everywhere you go, and I love that. It's so exciting for me. I love it. But
I mean, in the mountains in Spain, up in the Picos, you can stop at any old roadside place. Yeah. And the food's it's just nuts, isn't it? It's so good.
Well, I think my first trip, or the first time I went to Picos, funny story. It was after. It was.
It better be now.
Mate, honestly, it was unbelievable. We stopped at this little restaurant, and this is while we're still riding. Probably I don't know, 11 o'clock in the morning. Let's stop for some breakfast or brunch or whatever. I made the mistake of, again, little backstreet restaurant, saying, excuse me, can we see the menu? See. Went off. Comes back, starts setting the table.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is how they do it here. Yeah. And then, mate, they proceeded to bring the whole lot. We'd asked for the menu, basically, can we have the menu? The table, don't get me wrong, it was amazing. We couldn't ride afterwards, but
they just filled it full of food.
Yeah, there were wine and everything. I'm like, we can't drink wine.
It's 11 o'clock in the morning.
We're riding. But, oh, mate, it was amazing. So, yeah, don't ask for I'm sure we just asked to see the menu, and it translated as, I want everything on the menu.
Brilliant. Right, Paul Simpson. How do you Simo. How do you get away with all these adventures you go on? Doesn't the missus go bonkers?
I get this question quite a lot, but you've got to remember, folks, we show you the public life we want to show you. So we're not away, or I'm not away anywhere near as often as it looks.
Yeah.
You're making these trips, or you're producing these trips. You've been off for a quick trip somewhere for a week or two. You're back, and then you're at home for probably, I don't know, a couple of months. But during that time, you're producing all these videos. So you've got entertainment of all these videos of all these other places.
Yeah.
When we're at home having family time.
That's right.
So it's although we do get to go away and enjoy it, it's not as, I don't think it's as often as people think.
Yeah, and like the things like the Toro one, I mean, that's literally 3 days. So you fly out first thing in the morning, then you get there, and sometimes you're straight out on the bike, sometimes it's beer, and you go out the next day. But I mean, like your one there, you were on the bike and then you flew home that night, and the next day you're back at work. So it's basically like a weekend trip, but it might be during the week that you do it. Yeah.
Let me just add, that bloody trip, the last trip we did, I left my Ray-Bans there.
No, did you?
Yeah, mate. I've got an unhealthy obsession with Ray-Bans. I've got loads of them, and these were my favourite. And I bloody left them. Can't find them anywhere. There's got to be. And I've even gone through photos on my phone of the restaurants we went to, or places we stopped at in the day. I'm like, yes, I was wearing them then. Not wearing them then, so I've left them somewhere, and someone's snaffled them.
Well, do you think you've left them in a hotel or left them at London's?
Well, I've messaged Lyndon a few times about it.
He's not got them.
He's not got them. So he probably left him in one of those hotels we're in or something.
That might be why he's been WhatsApping me pictures of him sat by his pool with these beautiful sunglasses on and a beer in hand.
Nice carbon arms on him.
Right, Brian McManus. Richie, your USA trip was amazing. Have you plans to do similar that side of the Atlantic again? If so, where?
There's no plans, but I've said many times it's only a glass of whiskey away from being planned again, because at the time it was a once in a lifetime trip. I kept saying that we had no intention of doing it ever again, but I dream about it nearly every day. I absolutely loved it, and I've got to make it happen again. And I know all the lads that came on that trip with us, they feel the same.
Yeah.
It was funny as well, because another funny story, Graham, there's the guy from Scotland. He's I don't think he's one for having like, he don't like loads of mates. He just likes his mates that he's got, and that's it. And towards the end of the trip, you know, you could tell you're a bit like, you know, enjoyed the trip, but wanted to get home and all that business. And at the
back
end,
to his own little circle, his own life.
And at the end, he's like, listen, lads, you know, shook hands. You know, we'll probably never see each other ever again. You know, but it's been a great trip. And since then, I've probably spoke to him. I've seen him loads of times since, and he's definitely one of my best mates. He's such a lovely bloke, and I don't think he realised when you share something that special with someone, you've got this bond, haven't you? Definitely.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You know, you go on a tour with someone, you're sharing this moment. You're going to be mates forever. So you know, but yeah, Brian, that trip is it'll always be a very special, definitely a special trip, and it's only a glass of whiskey away from planning again.
That's what got me into your channel, to be honest. That's because you'd cropped up a lot on like my feed on YouTube,
right?
But you did big videos, didn't you? You did big sort of 40, 50 odd minutes, sometimes an hour long.
Yeah, and 23 episodes on that.
Yeah. And I've got to admit, a lot of the time, no, even before the trip, but in your other vids that you do, I got to admit, I would look and I just think, I can't, too much to do. I can't watch that. And then you did the USA one, and I remember I watched one. I can't remember which one it was I watched, but I watched one of them and was just hooked, and that was it. I was just watching from start to end every single vid after that, and then
I am very aware of the length and how it can put a lot of people off. But again, going back to what I was saying about build the channel that you want to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And really, my subscribers now, if I ever turn anything out that's like 10 minutes, they're like, what? What's happened? I've only just finished my first beer. What?
Yeah.
So you know, that's how the channel's grown really into that. That's the format, and people like that. So that's how I like it. So that's what it'll be. You know. I guess it's strange doing all these music videos because they're all like 3-4 minutes long.
Exactly, yeah. And then the analytics will be looking and going, well, you normally get like 15 minutes of watch time. You're only getting 2.5-3 minutes. What's going on?
Strangely, again, I guess because I've not put that much music on there, they don't go down anywhere near as well as the biking videos in terms of views. Everyone that does watch it, they leave very positive comments and things like that, but they just don't get the views that the biking videos do, which is a shame, but
Seriously, mate, those music vids that you're doing, those daily music vids, they came at the right time for me, because the first week of all this happening, like, when was that, like the 21st, 22nd of March, that week there, my whole world just seemed to collapse on itself, in terms of like just financially, tours looking like they might not go ahead and sponsors pulling. I was just like, oh my, what have I done leaving the old bill, because my wife still gets paid, and if anything it's more work for the old bill because there's a lot of associated issues that come with all this, and I was just like, what am I doing? And then I was spending all my time looking at social media, and it was just doom and gloom, wasn't it? And it was like, this is going to kill everybody, it's going to kill hundreds of thousands of people. I was just like in a little pit by the end of that first week, thinking, I'm screwed. We're all doomed. And then you started doing those songs, and it was just like, all right.
It's just
okay.
That was the point. Just to basically take someone's mind, as music does.
Yeah.
It can just take you to a different place, just for 3 or 4 minutes. It can take you to a different place.
Yeah.
And then obviously you come back with a bang into the real world. But for that 3 or 4 minutes. You can be somewhere magical, you can be on a beach somewhere in your mind, or that's the magic of music, I guess.
Mate, it did the job. Absolutely did the job. Top man.
But now I've got like millions of requests that I absolutely cannot do all of them. But I'm going to try.
Yeah. Right, Peter Hayworth. Richie, will you be doing more? Okay. Will you be doing more long trips on the VFR? Would be great to see it turn 100k. Because you've got, what have you got, 80 odd thousand on it?
80, she's just on 86, either 86 and a half or 86, yeah.
Wow. Oh, wee young pup.
Well, what's yours done? Yours is like 3 minutes old and probably done more than that.
Oh, the GS. The GS has done 44,000, I think. 45,000, yeah. The Jigsaw's
that's some good going.
Well, when did I get that? I got that January, February 2018, I think I got the GS. But
that's amazing.
The Jigsaw has got 103,000. think it's 103,000. I think the Jigsaw's got. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Again, though, we had this conversation in Toro about you getting the, what do you call it, the monster. What do you call the bike?
The beast.
The beast. Forgive me, yeah. The beast. We're having this conversation like, would you ever get it back out on the road again?
Yeah.
And you've left that bike as it is when you arrived home, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is amazing. I think I'm as sentimental as you when it comes to these bikes and where they've been. Obviously, as Bruce said, this is a pup compared to what his Jigs has been.
Don't be daft.
But again, to think that it's been sat on Monument Valley and Grand Canyon right at the side of it, and rode into Nashville and all these. There's no way that I'm retiring it. No way. I love this bike more than anything, and it will most definitely, well, as long as it doesn't, as long as something bad doesn't happen, there'll definitely be a video seeing 100,000, definitely.
Awesome. Good work.
Yeah. I love it, and I've got no plans to stop riding it at all.
Good man. Right, Gary Taylor. Gary, hi to both. I always knew riding my bike was good medicine after a long day at work, but I never realised how truly helpful it was until I can't do it anymore. You both finding it the same? Are you both feeling the same? So,
I guess me and the lockdown thing.
Yeah, like the therapeutic values of riding a bike.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go back to the Africa Twin thing again. I apologise if I do say that word or that name of that brand of that bike. I don't mean to, but I'm just going to go back to a reference point. When I did the Scotland thing about the therapy, this year for some reason I've really struggled through winter. Like I've had real winter blues.
Yeah,
and I never, I'm like the most optimistic person in the world. For some reason this year, I mean, we moved house last year, and there's a load to do in this house, and blah blah blah. And I think things aren't getting on top of me, but I just think, you're wrestling with a million things.
Yeah.
And I've had real winter blues. You can't really get out on a bike so much. You can't do this, you can't do that. Did the Scotland thing. Again, I just thought, I'm going to Scotland. And everyone like, what, are you crackers?
Yeah.
In January? It's going to be stupid. But I just thought, I've got to do it. And for my own mind, I had to do it no matter what. And I came back feeling so much lighter.
Awesome.
That the therapy of being out on the road, I think, is if you've never done it, you must absolutely try it, because it does you the world of good. And honestly, it did me absolutely the world of good. Being on my own as well. No, that doesn't mean anything. No disrespect to the boys or anything at all. I just felt like I needed to go off on my own.
Yeah.
And just go where I wanted, when I wanted, how I wanted, by myself, and I did, and it was fantastic.
I get that as well, and I'll just take it in my head to go somewhere, and it's good. I love meeting people. I love meeting up with people I know and new people. I love all that, but I need and I like my own time and space as well.
Yeah,
just like at the end of the day, just having your own time to chill. I like that. Yeah, definitely. So, Gary, yes, we are missing it, and cannot wait to be set free, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, next one. Christopher Charles Murphy. Question for us both. What do you think of the chat planning to ride to the North Pole? And would you consider doing something that extreme? I think that's Jacques Lucassen.
Is that the guy I sent? Is that the guy I sent you the article to, saying? Was he on an R1 with massive tyres on it?
Yeah, that's Jacques. Yeah. And
I sent you a link. I sent Bruce a link saying, I said, just remind me again, Bruce, what did you do? You went around the world. Oh, that's cute. And this fella's like towing a trailer and stuff on a.
Jacques the first one. Like him and Nick Sanders. They've done it on. Well, Jacques done it on the R1, but he spent about 5 years going, 5 years going all around the world. I mean, literally everywhere. He went right round Africa. He went through the centre of Africa as well. He's done all sorts on an R1 in one-piece leathers.
Hell.
And now he's already had one attempt at riding to the North Pole, but his fuel froze. He didn't account for how much fuel he'd need and how much food and resources he'd need, because he was towing a sledge behind him.
Yes,
and I think when the first time he went, like the fuel froze. I think even the air in his tyres, he had issues with that, and it was just physically too much weight for him to tow on the R1.
Yeah.
So he's now pretty much going right back to the drawing board and custom designed and built this new R1 and sledge to carry everything with him. It's got a heating system for the components and fuel, and so he'll do it. He will do it.
That's amazing. Though. If to have that amount of drive.
Oh man, yeah.
Any obstacles? Most people will just say, "Oh, I can't," because it makes your fuel freeze. Like, right, I need to figure a way of not letting that happen. I'm going to do it, and that's it. I think it's amazing. I do. Amazing.
I think that is the difference between people that will do things like that and those that won't. Is the mentality, the drive, that commitment. I'm going to do it, and it comes down to even things like going around the world, doing a round the world trip, or overlanding. The amount of people that go, "Oh, I'd love to do that," and say, "Well, just do it."
Do it. Yeah.
And people come up with all these reasons they can't do it, can't afford it. Can't take time off work. I've got a family. I've got a mortgage. Yep, absolutely, totally get that. Figure it out. You just figure out how can you allow for that. If it's in you to do it, if it's in you to do it, you'll do it. Yeah, that's the difference between people that do it and people that don't. Is that you make sacrifices, and it's quite I've said this before. It's quite a selfish thing to do to do a round the world trip or to go to the North Pole, because you've got friends and family that value you, and
yes, I know,
they're worried about you, and you will be taking yourself away from them, and you will be risking a few things, and it's just
but then looking at on your side of it as the traveller, if it's a burning desire in you,
you've got to do it.
You can't suppress it, can you? You've got to do it. You've got to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. So he will do it.
Loving these questions.
Yeah, some cracking ones, isn't there? Pete English again. If you were given a 1-minute slot in the middle of the MotoGP, what video of yours would you choose to promote? That's a good one.
That is a great question.
It is, isn't it? Wow.
It'd be... is this to both of us or to me?
It is, yeah.
I would... mine would be the first episode of the USA Tour, definitely.
Oh,
because
nice.
It's not an everyday thing, is it? Obviously because you've done your mammoth trip, but that's why I didn't want to do it on a rented Harley. I didn't want to hire a bike over there. I wanted to do it on my bike because I love this bike, and I just thought when I first thought about it, I just thought, I think we're at the top of Norway. Actually, we're at the top of Norway, Lofoten Islands, in the midnight sun. That was it. I was having a sentimental moment with myself and the bike. All the lads were asleep.
Yeah.
During the midnight sun, like, you've come all the way to the top of Norway to see the midnight sun, and you're asleep in your tent. I'm going for a ride anyway. So went for this ride. I'm stood there watching the sun, and I just thought, how can I ever beat this? How can I ever beat this? This is just the best it could ever be. Then I just thought, yeah, but how cool would it be to be able to say you've been across America? That's brilliant. But a pipe dream. Mm-hmm. But how cool would it be to be able to say you've done it on your own bike? This is way before I knew you yourself, obviously, and what you've done. But I just thought this has got to happen. Then the more I looked into it, I just thought I think this will happen. Mm-hmm. I think I can do it. Yeah. And I just thought, how amazing to be able to have it sat behind me like it is now in the garage, knowing that it's had the red desert dust of Arizona on its tyres, Yeah. And in fact, you can see it. You might be able to see it. You won't be able to see it in focus because we've got a short aperture. But there's a tyre there. That's the rear tyre. That same as you, Bruce. When you arrived back from your world trip,
you kept it.
You put your bike in the thing and left it as it was.
Yeah.
That tyre's still got plenty of life left on it. But I took it straight off. I had a new set of tyres straight away. So that tyre now looks exactly as it did after it safely delivered me back home from America. Brilliant. I'm so sentimental, but it answer your question, Pete. It would be the first episode of the America Tour because I'm so proud of it. I am.
Nice. I think I just thinking about it there when you were talking. I think there would be choice of two for me. One would be the Lao episode of my round the world trip, when I was proper like off-road on the Jigsaw, because it was probably the hardest sort of 2 days I think of that whole trip for me. Just physically it was hard 2 days, and it doesn't show in the video, but there's some proper horrendous things that bike went through, and like landfills, like there were rock slides and stuff. And I was so knackered by that stage that I was just like, well, I can't turn round and go back because I've been on the road for about 10 hours and I've not passed anything, so I can't go back that way. I've got to keep going. And I in the end, I ended up like scrambling over this rock fall. So you've got the mountain on the right, and then you've got the rocks right in front of you, and on the left is a sheer drop down to the rivers and stuff. So the only way you can get past this is go by and over the rocks. And I remember scrambling up over to the rocks, looking over the other side and going, right, okay, I've just got to get over it. And I was literally just gunning it on this jigsaw and just like Dukes of Hazzard on it over these rocks. And I never dropped the thing. And it was only till way after all that I ended up dropping the bike.
Bloody hell.
I dropped the bike on like a hill like this. And then after that, I couldn't keep it upright. I just kept dropping it. It was like the will had gone then.
I'll just interject on that bit there. When we were again recently at Toro, we were having this chat. We'd the beginning of the video that went out last night. We arrived at that beach.
Oh yeah.
You know where TMF were having a piss.
Yeah.
And we went and intercepted.
That's right.
I was saying to Bruce,
we're doing the David Bellamy impressions, right?
That's it. But I was saying to Bruce, like on the way out of there, like I think Bruce was saying how amazing it were how amazing it is that you can just. 1 minute you can be riding the road as fast as you want on a GS, and then you press a couple of buttons and you can ride on the sand, you can ride on the beach, whatever. And I was saying, it's just amazing that you can do this on adventure bikes. I mean, obviously, you can't ride like this on a sports bike. And Bruce went, who you're talking to. I'm like, good point.
That's right. Oh well. I said 2 videos, didn't I? So that one, the low one, and the second one would be our bike versus planes.
That was
I'm
special.
so proud of that. I loved that video. But
it took a lot of logistics to get that to line up, because we'd had this plan, this idea, but TMF obviously because of the plane was saying, listen lads, although we've got I think we had like 3 dates pinned just in case.
Yeah.
There's so many things that have to align to make this happen. Weather, airspace, all this business. Mm-hmm. He said, really, the chances of it actually happening are very, very slim.
That's right.
But if we can make it work, we'll make it work. And we did make it work on the actual date we wanted to.
Yeah, we did.
And it was absolutely brilliant. It was
one of the best days of the whole year, wasn't it? It was gorgeous.
It was fantastic, yeah. It was absolutely brilliant. The actual challenge, everything about it was fantastic. Yeah. I loved it. And we were all genuinely fired up for it as well. There were no acting needed really for that. It was just... It was genuine excitement.
There'll be plenty more, mate. Don't worry. We'll do more of them.
I hope so.
How are you for time on the DSLR?
Let's have a look. 3 minutes. So let's go for 3 minutes, and then I'll swap it.
Right. Okay. You should know what 3 minutes is by now, eh?
It's just a very normal
push, hold. Job done. Right. RZ Ted, Richie, how is it that you have escaped the GS Borg collective? Asking as a Triumph owner.
Meaning, why haven't I bought one?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I've always, for whatever reason, liked to go against the grain.
Yeah.
Don't know why. I don't know why. But it seems that, like, everyone's like, it's got to be a GS. Oh, you need a GS. It's GS. Listen, the GS is a stonking bike in every respect. I love it. There's nothing I don't like about it. It's like a perfect machine. It's fantastic.
There's a bot coming.
But, I don't know. I mean... Why does it have to be that? Because
it's the best bike in the world.
I want you to ride an Africa Twin.
I can feel the abuse coming.
I do want you to ride an Africa Twin and
yeah, no, absolutely.
Tell me what you think. But
no, I'm totally open up. I'm totally open to it, mate. Because I used to say there's not a hope in hell that I will ride a GS. They're a bag of poo. Why would I do it? And once I rode it, it changed. So maybe that'll happen with another bike.
Don't get me wrong, I don't dislike that bike at all. I love it, but I don't know. I just think I like to go against the grain, and there's other things out there, aren't there? So that's why.
Got to be different.
Right, we've got 1 minute left, so I'll do the change on the DSLR. Yeah.
Okay, cool, mate.
Cool. Okay.
We'll chat amongst ourselves.
Apologise for that, folks. I had to go to the little boy's room. And I piss like a camel, so it always takes me forever.
It's got to find it.
Anyway, we're back.
Right. Well, I will end up. I'll obviously edit to that out because it took him about an hour and a half to have that pee. So,
I was in there going.
when Andy did it, when TMF was on this last week, he went for a pee and he took his headphones with him, but they've got a built-in mic. So
oh my God.
I was just listening to have a slash. I was like, Andy, I can hear you having a pee, and he was like, oh well, never mind. It was a proper old man.
Carried on chatting.
Yeah. Right. We've got Bo here. Geraint Bocott. Bo, he's a good lad. I met him at Canary Motorcycle Tours. So, hello, Bo. Richie,
hello, Bo.
Will you ever part with the VFR? If so, would you get another sport tourer or something different this time? Maybe an adventure bike like a GS. See, it's not just me that puts the pressure on for GS.
That's the thing, though. That's my point. You get the GS thing all the time.
Yeah.
I get it all the time. Like, it must be a GS. It's about time for a GS. Like, don't get me wrong. I'd still love one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just like to go against the grain. And to answer your initial part of your question, for no money in the world will I ever part with this bike.
Awesome.
Ever.
Awesome. Do you know, part of me's a little bit jealous of that because.
Well, you've got the beast. You'll never part with that, will you?
Yeah, but I was the Gixxer guy, and now I'm not. Now I'm known as the GS guy, and it's like,
okay,
but I'm a sports bike man, but I'm not at all anymore. You know, I'm a GS man now. So oh well. Right, Andrew Scott. Here's one for you. This is for you. Do you like Bruce or Andy the best?
What's his name? Andrew. Andy.
Yeah, Andy Scott. Andrew Scott.
Andy, that was a rotten question to ask.
Yeah, but what's the answer? Richard.
They're both very, very, very nice boys, and I'm very honoured to be able to call them mates. That's a good answer, isn't it?
I hate you. I never had you down as a politician. Okay, there's another one from Andrew Scott.
Oh no!
This one's for you. Yeah. Have you ever knocked out a cheeky one listening to Gaz's heavy breathing?
Gaz, what do we call him? We called him the wild bad asthmatic pit pony. Do you know, I've had so many conversations with Gaz. I've had to make him move his mic. I've had to do this. I've had to do that. He's actually now very conscious of the fact that he breathes noisy.
Yeah.
When we're filming, it's so funny because you can hear him like, and we start filming. It's like
he's holding his breath.
So Gaz, if you go back to like the first videos of Gaz, it's terrible, and the amount of work, you'll know what it's like in the editing thing. You can manipulate the audio however you want. Really, you can pull every little bit of ambient noise and just leave in the speech, but it's obviously work. So it was to the point where I was pulling every single bit of ambient noise when he weren't speaking. I had to pull a whole lot out, and then just the bit of speech I had to like chuck it in and pull it straight back out again because it was like.
God. Yeah, because you do a lot of this level work, sound work, don't you? I hardly do anything.
I do. Yeah, well, with every video, you know, like you have your workflow.
Yeah.
I do my audio work first. When the video's finished, then I'll work on the audio of it. Then I'll work on the visual in terms of colour correction and things like that. But the audio, I'll always first thing I do, I'll put an EQ on it and put a low pass filter on, which gets rid of everything below. I can't remember now. Is it 20,000, 20 kilohertz? I can't remember now.
I haven't got a clue.
You know, when you just get used to doing it, and you're like, well, there it is. Pull. I forget the number, but anyway, anything below that, the human ear can't hear anyway. So it's just mud. So I just pull all that out, so it cleans up all that bottom end. So that's the first thing I do. Put the EQ on, and then I put a compression on it to lift up the quiet bits and lower the loud bits,
right.
So it's all equal and nice. And then I'll put a limiter on the end of it to bring it all up to the same. So it's all hitting the same ceiling, if you like.
Yeah, so you don't get any clipping and
clipping and things like that. Exactly. Yeah. So this is all part of your workflow, and you get used to doing it. But when there's extra work to do, in terms of pulling within each channel of audio, you can do whatever you want. Really, for instance, I stutter a lot of the time. I'm sure you do. When you're chatting away, you'll fumble your words and you'll think,
Yep.
I'll start that again. I'll say that again. So sometimes I've got to the point now where you can stretch the audio so you can almost see the words in an audio file. Not really see the words, but you can see the spikes in an audio file. And I can pull out anything and seamlessly join it back together with the video. And you'll not really hear that there's anything missing or that there's a cut.
Yeah.
But it's so really, it's good that we can do that kind of thing, that level of editing in today's technological world. So I think it's fantastic that we can do that.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work when you have someone that's like a pit pony. Yeah. And answer to your question, no, I've never knocked one out to Gaz's breathing.
That's a yes.
Love you, Gaz.
Christopher Charles.
Keep practicing on that breathing, Gaz.
Christopher Charles Murphy. I'm a new rider. Passed my test in February. Good lad. Pick up a 2014 Honda NC750X 10 days before lockdown. Can you give me some tips?
Mate.
I know, got to do. Can you give me some tips on keeping it ready for use when lockdown is lifted? And Richie, what cleaning products do you recommend? Well, it's got to be your battery, isn't it?
Your battery, yeah. Just again, I don't know if you, Christopher, if you saw this video of mine way back when my VFR had gone in to have some work done. I'd got into the habit of having like a Optimate, whatever they're called.
Yep.
Connected whenever it was just a habit that I got into. I'd pull my bike in, and I'd just plug it in, and then leave it, and I'd leave that for. I don't know, I'd probably leave it for all winter if I didn't touch the bike, just leave it plugged in. And it's supposed to work the battery up and down all the time. Anyway, that battery was, I think I said about 7 years old, I can't remember now.
Wow.
But the guy that did the work on my bike said it's a very bad habit to get into, to keeping it plugged in all the time. I know, there was a lot of, this was a very split down the middle comment from Steve, the guy who did the work. Because people were saying, well, hang on a minute, you've just had a battery that's lasted 7 years.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was 7 years, but whatever. When normally batteries will last 2 or 3 years. So it's obviously done something good, and it's been conditioning it all that time. But then Steve was saying, because I've had it plugged in for such a long time, and it's got used to being, it's got this lifeline, if you like, all the time, that it's become weak, and that's ended up, it distorted and everything. When I broke down in Biarritz on a wildbat trip, and it was in a real bad way actually. And he said that was what caused or helped cause that.
Oh wow!
But then the comments flooded in, people saying, "Shit, I've just been out to my garage and turned it off."
Yeah.
But then other people saying, "Actually, no, these chargers are made to do that.
Yeah.
They're made to condition your battery up and down all the time." So I don't know. I took Steve's advice, and I only now switch it on for probably, 3 or 4 hours, and then turn it off again.
Oh dear.
This is not a day, this is once a week. Once, even if the bike's not being used, like now for instance, I'll just plug it in for 3 or 4 hours and then turn it off, and I won't do it again for another week. So I don't know, I think it's a strange one, because I always kept it plugged in fully, and Steve definitely said do not do that.
Right.
So, but I suppose again, I'm sure this will bring a lot of comments on that.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
because people will take their own view of that, But it's working for me so far, so that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I mean, before I heard your story, my advice would have been get yourself something like an Optimate, and just keep if you're going to be leaving it for sort of more than say a couple of weeks without riding, then I would chuck it on the Optimate just so it's trickle charging and keeping the battery healthy. Try and get it off the ground if you can. If you can get...
Yeah, always on the centre stand, definitely, at least.
If you've got a centre stand, get the bike on the centre stand. If not, if you've got paddock stands, get it on the paddock front and back, and lift the tyres up off the ground. Because if your tyres sit for, but we are talking for prolonged, like more than a month sort of thing. But tyres will develop a flat spot if they're sat on concrete for any length of time. So I would, I'd get it off the ground.
And not to mention weight on your shocks.
Yeah,
when it doesn't need to be there.
Yeah. What else is there? I mean, people
cleaning products. I don't really. There's the muck off stuff I use, but really, I don't. I don't have anything. I don't have a go-to product. Maybe you can share some light on what you use.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm a big S-Stock fan. I think out of everything I've tried so far, S-Stock does the best job with the least amount of work. Definitely. Yeah. I've not used the muck-off stuff. I haven't used the WD-40 stuff yet. I've used this stuff called Clean My Ride, and it does do a good job, but it needs more elbow grease than S-Stock does.
Right.
And you probably need a couple of applications of it to get the same job that you get with one application of S-Stock. But it's not bad stuff. That's about it, really, I think.
I find the WD-40 stuff really good.
Have you? I've not used that.
Yeah, it's really good, yeah.
I've used the chain stuff when I used to, when you used to have the chain bike. Before I saw the light and bought a BMW R1200 GS.
Here we go.
Best bike
Here
in the
we go. It's like that. I do get this a lot. People are like, well, yeah, it's on the Africa Twin videos.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's a great bike, but it's a chain.
Yeah,
no,
I know. Yeah,
no.
I know.
It's like, come on, don't be snobby about a bloody chain or a shaft.
Honestly, I mean, how difficult it is to lube a chain and tighten a chain. It's not, is it? But even I'm like that. I'm like, just. The GS.
It's far too much work.
GS is a dry shaft. It's just easy. I don't need to do anything. I took the Multistrada and the KTM's out, and it's like, these are amazing bikes. Awesome fun. I was like, it's a chain.
Talking of KTM, I was thinking I had this lockdown bloody business. Going back to your situation, Christopher, having this new bike and not being able to go on it. I got from KTM the brand new Super Duke GT lined up for a couple of weeks to do a trip on.
Yeah.
And it were going to be delivered here and full of beauty and everything, and obviously that's all been poo-pooed because of this lockdown situation. So I am genuinely gutted about that, because I was looking forward to. I remember speaking to you about it when we did the bike versus plane.
Yeah.
And you were saying, "Oh man, you have to do this bike. Oh my god, this bike is incredible." And I kind of wanted to keep it quiet about getting the bike, and then I was just going to send you a picture of it, and you'd be like, "Oh mate." So I'm gutted that got poo-pooed. I'm sure it'll happen at some point, but.
Do you know
I can understand that if you just had a new bike and it sat in your garage and you're so excited about it and you can't go out on it.
Got to be torture. Yeah. All I'd say, Christopher, is focus on the fact this will end. It will all end, and we will get back to normal. We will be set free, and just think about how much fun you're going to have when that time comes. That's it. The day that you can roll your garage door up and ride out on it for the first time. That is going to be the best feeling. And if you can film it, because you'll be so excited. I can't wait.
Fantastic.
I can't wait to hit the road again.
I know.
Awesome.
Hit the road again.
yeah. Well, you were.
Did you see a little video, by the way?
No. When?
Well, yeah. I've bloody done that video for you.
When?
On these lockdown songs, I even tagged you on it.
I've been watching them every day.
Look at Mr. Bloody YouTube here.
So when did you do that?
It would have been about 4 days ago.
Seriously, mate, I've not seen that one. What did you do on the road again?
Disappointed in you, Bruce. It was the Country Roads video.
Yeah.
Nestled inside the Country Roads video. Just for you, but no, you didn't even listen to it.
Right, I'll go back and have a look.
My efforts have gone.
I'm so sorry. I've been watching them every day. Changing the subject slightly, because that's a bit embarrassing. The Super Duke GT. Do you know I've changed my mind slightly?
Right. Okay.
I think between the Super Adventure and the GT. So between the 1290 Super Duke SA and the 1290 Super Duke GT, I actually think the SA is the better bike.
Really? Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's maybe not the better
bike. And this is just you've made your mind up after the fact.
Yeah, after it.
Okay.
Because the whole time people were telling me you'll love the Super Adventure, but the GT you are going to be blown away. And even KTM were saying that to me. They say wait till you try the GT. And
which at the time you said to me as well.
Yeah.
Because I just had the Super Adventure, and you said again, wait till you test that one.
What I didn't like about the Super Adventure was that it at quite spirited speed, you started to get a wiggle on the front, and it nearly killed me.
Bruce, we had this conversation. I didn't have that at all.
Yeah. Were you?
I didn't have that at all. I don't know.
You had to be fairly spirited and aggressive with the throttle.
Let's move on. You see what this done to you before?
I know. Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. You had to be moving a bit, and
answer to your question there, yes, I did.
All right, good man. But apparently, what it is it's the tyres
on my mates, 190 acre
private road. Yeah, track. Yeah, me too. That's obviously where I did it too. But apparently, it's the tyres because my mate Matt Ward. He's been in quite a few of the vids and stuff. He's now bought one. He bought a Super Adventure, and he had the wobble, the wobble on the front.
Okay.
He took it back, and the technician or his local mechanic guy said, "Change the tyres. It's the tyres." So he changed the tyres from the sort of semi off-road type tyres that you get with that bike to pure road tyres. I think he put the PR5s on or the Road 5s on, and he said it's totally gone. And it handles.
There you go.
I mean, he was on the Pyrenees trip with me, which I'm editing at the moment, and I couldn't keep hold of him. I was on the Triumph 1200. Couldn't keep hold of him.
That bike. It's funny you say that because when riding it, it feels very fast, obviously, and just an absolute monster.
Yeah.
But you're in full control of it, and it just feels great. Yeah. But that's it. The lads said to me afterwards, we did like a wildbad, every now and then we do like a wildbad chippy run. We'll have a good ride out through the Peak District and then end up at a chippy in Matlock Bath and then say our farewells kind of thing. And everyone was saying on that, and especially the lads, Egon and Gaz, saying, I've never known you ride so quick.
Wow.
And I'm like, really? it didn't feel like that, honestly. Yeah. It just felt thingy, but that shows you what a ferocious animal it is.
Yeah. Well, Matt always had a Fireblade, and I've ridden with Matt loads. He did the 1,000 miles in 24 hours ride with me. He did that on a Fireblade, and I was on the GS, I think. And same. Matt's a good rider, but he was always sort of following, and then all of a sudden he gets the Super Adventure, KTM Super Adventure, and I could see he was just welded to my arse, and I was like, get by, go by, just enjoy yourself.
Such an easy bike to ride.
Oh mate,
he
just destroyed the mountains. He was off. Yeah.
So what are you basing your decision on there then? That you prefer that over that?
The GT to me seems like the more well-behaved one out the two of them.
Really?
Yeah, the GT to me seemed.
I thought it would be the other way around.
That's what I thought, but looking back on it, the Super Adventure was the animal. The Super Adventure was the brutal engine, and the GT felt more disciplined, like it had a few more manners. And I actually had more fun riding the Super Adventure than I did the GT. I mean, the GT's great, but I had more fun. I was grinning like an idiot most of the time when it wasn't when it wasn't trying to kill me. I was grinning like an idiot on the Super Adventure, and it's like, that's what I like. That's what I enjoy. Yeah.
That's the whole point of it, isn't it? Yeah. It's the whole point of riding is you get that factor of this is the best thing ever.
Definitely.
But I'm surprised at that, and I genuinely, honestly thought it would have been the other way around.
Yeah, that's what I had thought. But looking back, and I think even in my videos I said the GT was a better one. But looking back, I think Super.
You've changed your mind.
Yeah.
And going back to your comment on the wobble, the tyres, I think that's a very valid comment actually. Yeah, definitely, because. When I first had the VFR, I remember putting a post on the. When you're getting to know a machine and you don't really know anything about it, and you've not had time to get to know these things yourself. If you ever took your hands off, you'd get a real wobble,
right?
And which could turn quite violent.
Yeah.
And I posted on like the VFR forum saying, "Has anyone else had this kind of thing?" Like, oh yeah, it's the top box. It's because you've got a top box on. And I thought, well, that's a bit crap, but okay, fair enough if that's what it is. It's what VFRs do. It isn't what they do at all. It's down to the tyres.
Yeah.
It's down to the tyres.
Yeah.
So I moved off the tyres I had at the time to PR3s, Michelin PR3s. And if the tyre pressures are correct, straight as a die, you can, it's so planted.
Yeah.
And then I moved to the PR4s, hated them.
Did you?
Took them off. Yep, took them off. And I've spoke to Michelin about this since, about the PR4s when they took me out to Spain to do the Road 5 test thing.
Oh yeah.
I said that I hated the 4s, hated them. I'm like, oh, we've never heard that before. And I thought, yes, you have. You've definitely heard that before, because they were nowhere near as good as the 3s. I went back to the 3s, used them for probably, I don't know, 2 more sets, and then that's when the 5s came out.
Right.
And now I've got the 5s, and again, it's absolutely straight as a die. It's perfect.
Yeah,
as long as the tyre pressures are right, that I think that is the best tyre for that bike. Definitely. Again, I think that as well. Sometimes the tyre suits the bike.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a different tyre can suit a different bike, I think.
Yeah,
having tried different ones on that, I think the Michelin's definitely are the tyre for it.
And with tyres, it's such a personal thing. It's such a personal thing. It really is down to.
You've got the Road 5s on it, yeah?
I do, mate. I love them. Yeah. Those in the Dunlop Road Smart 3s, I used to think were the best tyres I'd ever ridden on for the road.
Yeah.
And then I tried the Road 5, the Michelin Road 5s, and I think they're every bit as good, but I just get a little bit more mileage out of them.
Okay, well that's it then, isn't it? If you're getting you're saving your cash by having more miles. But absolutely great tyre, and a lot of people gave me a bit of stick for doing the Michelin gig at Seville to do the launch, because really that was the first thing of getting kind of recognition for the channel. Yeah. From Michelin to go and do that, and then people were starting to moan a bit that I'm only saying that they're good tyres because of that. And like, listen, anything that us motovloggers get, if we happen to get a bloody, I don't know, set of gloves or helmet or even, I don't know, some socks, if they're shit, we'll say they're shit. Yeah. We're under no contract to say, you know. So please don't think that if I'm sat here saying, oh, Road 5s, Road 5s, Road 5s, I'm saying it because they're bloody brilliant. Yeah. I'm not saying it because I had a set for free, you know.
And those people...
And I must say, the ones I've got on now weren't free. so I chose to buy them, and I would choose to buy them again.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm paying for my tyres. The last free set of tyres I got were the Metzler...
Roadtech 01s?
Roadtech 01s, yeah, which I did. I took them on a... Was it around the UK ride? I think I did them. I think I did around the UK in like 3 days or 4 days or something, and I did that to test these Roadtechs, and I loved them. It was weird. For the first sort of 2,000 miles, they were amazing, and then they just, I don't know what happened, but they just fell away, and it was like I was riding on marble. I hated them. First 2,000, awesome.
I'm glad you've said that, and I'm glad I've stayed quiet. In terms of influence, in terms of how I feel about it, I had the same tyres on mine before the Road 5. I think I went loads of PR3s, then the PR4s, back to PR3s, and then I tried the Metzeler M7RRs.
Oh yeah.
Amazing tyre.
Yeah, I love them on the Jigsaw.
Amazing tyre.
Yeah, had them on my Jigsaw.
But they just don't last long enough, do they?
No.
Amazing tyre. So, and then I tried because of how much I enjoyed those, I tried the Roadtech 01s. And again, exactly what you just said. For the first 1,000 mile or so, these are amazing. And then, in fact, we were in the Picos, and Jimbo, that comes on all our tours, I'd been telling Jimbo, oh, I'm trying these new tyres, they're amazing. And he's looking at him at a petrol station. Bearing in mind, these are brand new tyres, 1,000 mile in probably. He's like, you've got a real square spot on the back there.
Yep.
Have I? I thought. Anyway, obviously being in the Picos, as you know, you can soon shape your tyres again in no time. But I just thought, I don't like that. And then, again, after 2,000 miles or so, they just felt crap.
Yep.
They felt crap and they didn't last long.
No.
To me, I didn't like them. Took them off and put the 3s back on. And then straight from the 3s when the 5s came out, and I've been on the 5s ever since.
Yeah, but my whole point of that was that I tested those tyres, and they were a freebie from Metzler, and I told them what I thought of the tyres, and I actually I put it in my videos as well. I always say to people when they say, would you review this product? And I know TMF's the same. You say, well, I will, but if I don't like them, I'll say why I don't like them. I'll give you the good bits, and I'll give you the bad bits. No warts and all. Yeah. And funnily, I've never had anything from Metzler ever since. And you're like, well, but I mean, it's your integrity at the end of the day, isn't it? And you can't,
exactly.
I can't risk your integrity being questioned.
Listen, if we were to build a channel, getting as many freebies as we possibly could by going, these are great, when you know the shit.
And we all know there's channels out there doing it.
the public would see through you in no time.
Yeah.
And it's just, no way would I ever do that. I'd never, if I didn't like something, I would not say ever that I liked it. Yeah. No way.
I'm the same, yeah. Right, Matt Rowe.
That was a long answer to your question, Christopher.
It was actually, yeah. It was.
I like those though.
Matt Rowe Designs. Nice one, very good, Matt. Can we have a Jeff Cohen tribute song, please? Man, that was genius. That was genius. Oh, come on, you've got to tell people.
Well, let me just say, I've got 2 minutes left on this timer on my DSLR. But Matt, oh my God, I sat here in the garage recording, and obviously it's Leonard Cohen and then Jeff Buckley did his version, amazing version. Yeah. And I just written the lyrics out and just written. I must have had both in my head. Written Jeff Cohen anyway. So delivered the song. I'm just about to start playing.
You give this big emotional intro to it. Hallelujah.
These are the lockdown songs. Yeah, put about to start playing Hallelujah. This is Jeff Cohen's classic. And you started playing it, and I'm like, hang on a minute.
I was going, it's not Jeff Cohen. Is it Jeff Cohen?
Is it? It's like, this is not right. Obviously, it's Leonard Cohen, and Jeff Cohen is bloody Chunk from Goonies.
That's right.
First, you got to do the truffle shuffle.
Brilliant.
Well, Matt, that's. Thank you so much for that.
That's a very good
brilliant.
question,
Thank you
Matt.
very much for watching.
Nice
one. Can you?
Genius.
Oh dear me.
He's actually put a sensible one on here as well from Matt.
Can we just hold Matt's second one while I change files?
Oh God, yeah, no problem, mate. Go on.
Thank you. Okay.
We'll entertain ourselves, folks. I tell you what, I'm running low on beer. The past couple of podcasts, if you've not been watching them, Mrs. Teapot has been incredibly supportive, and she's been bringing beer, but it's not happening today. I might have upset her earlier.
So, just change files.
Cool.
Anybody know what this is?
It's a baby alarm, isn't it? Baby monitor?
Yes, it is. Her indoors has just gone to do some shopping, essential shopping.
Okay.
And our beautiful daughter is in bed.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if I have to shoot off, which I shouldn't, it's because of this.
Your alarm.
Right, let me start this again.
Your timer's going. Right, here's your next one from Matt Rowe again, Matt Rowe Designs. Have you and Andy Mancam discussed or had a drunken duet together? Do you have any music on Spotify?
The second part of that, I've got I did an album of original music. It's called It's All Fun and Games Till. If you search for that on Spotify by Vida, you'll find it. The first part of that, I've spoke to Andy Mancam. I would love to do something.
Yeah?
I would love to do something with him, and if we can pull it together, then it'd be brilliant. And again, if we ever do a trip together, all of us,
you should do the soundtrack.
We will definitely do that.
Oh, mega. Mate, that would be mint.
Excuse me, just 1 second. We've got poor connections.
Oh, are you with me?
The video will resume automatically when connection improves.
Can you hear me, though?
So, until that happens... there he is.
Were you going to do a little musical interlude?
I lost you then for a second, mate. Yeah, it said poor connection. If we ever do a trip together, the plane versus bike guys.
That'll be brilliant.
Again, me, Bruce, TMF, Andy Mancam, and
that other one. What's that other one called?
Oh God, his name just escapes me.
Minty? No. Mint? No, something to do with mint.
No, it's gone anyway. But anyway, if we ever do one together, I would hope that me and Andy could sort something out.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Right, John Broadhurst.
But a bit before we move on, Matt, thank you for that first part. The first question, that was fantastic.
Jeff Cohen. John Broadhurst, what inspired you to become a musician, and do you secretly get turned on when watching your own vids?
Well, as everybody says, the first time you start hearing your own voice on video or camera or whatever, you hate it. It's like, I don't sound like that. Your talking voice. Obviously, we do this for a living almost, so we have to listen to it all the time. No, I do not get turned on by it, but it's just part of delivering something that is as close to perfect as you can. So you're delivering something that's spot on for people. What were the first part of that question again?
What inspired you to become a musician?
Well, again, family. Growing up, my mum was a massive Beatles fan, and my dad has always been a country Elvis fan. My mum died sadly when she was very young. I was 13 years old. She was a massive Beatles fan. And at the time, I think I'd done a bit of like choir singing at school, which was quite funny. Before she died, bless her, we'd done like it's funny because at the time, I remember thinking, I was in primary school and the headmaster made me sing in the choir.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, why is he picking on me? Why is he picking on me? And it weren't it just because he could see something in me, obviously. And then we did like this Christmas carol, and I had to do this solo by myself, crapping myself as a child, And then my mum used to just play this tape to everybody all the time, and I was so embarrassed. and one of the worst things I ever did, looking back now, was I was so embarrassed one night when she was showing everybody, all family were around, and she was showing everybody, and I made her destroy it.
No.
Destroy this tape, and it was obviously at the time it was my mum's pride and joy kind of thing. She's so proud, and I made her destroy it as a snotty kid, if you like. And I just think that would have probably broke her heart,
Yeah.
Anyway, fast forward many years, I've since played with my band at the Cavern at Liverpool, so I did that for my mum. That was my dad was in the audience, and I remember going out and playing on the main stage at the Cavern, headlining it, and I just remember, being like 1 second away from crying all night because I just thought, she's I'm doing this for my mum kind of thing. And every time I kept seeing my dad in the audience, I was just like, no, don't look at your dad, don't look at
deep breaths, deep breaths.
Yeah, and then fast forwarding even further, again going to the American trip, playing on stage in Nashville, that's like, so I did the Beatles thing for my mum, and I've done the country American thing for my dad, and then the day after Nashville, when we rode out of Nashville, obviously from Nashville heading west, you're heading through Memphis. So I'm like, there's no way I'm riding past Graceland.
Yeah, you got to do it.
If we get a chance to, my dad's never been, so I'm like, there's no way I'm riding past it. So we stood at Graceland, stood at Elvis's gates, and I rung my dad and I said, hey pal, I'll give you $20 if you can tell me where I'm stood. And he just went, you're at Graceland. I went, yes I am. and really, I guess it came from family, and the things that, like anything, whatever you're inspired by when you're growing up.
Yeah.
But to me, music's, even though my oldest brother had guitar lessons when we were kids, this is, it's dead funny because he was always the one that were into music. I really weren't, not really. I mean, I'm talking probably 10 years old. He was having all these guitar lessons, and it didn't really take to it. Even though he was the one that loved all this music.
Yeah.
And it was when he went, he'd go off to play with his mates, and I'd watch him go off, and then I'd get his guitar out, and I'd sit there and teach myself how to do it. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but I thought, if he catches me doing this, he's going to kill me. So that was it really. I just grew up with it, and that's just what I've done since being a kid, really. Awesome. And the same headmaster that I thought were picking on me was the same headmaster that let me play the school piano until the lollipop lady out the window was ready to go home at night, and again didn't have a clue what I was doing. So I used to just sit there. I knew I wanted to do it, or feel like I wanted to do it.
Wow!
I used to just sit there playing the piano. Nobody else at school. Everyone else has gone home, and he'd say to me, "Right, you can sit there until the lollipop lady's ready to go home. When she's ready to go home, you have to leave because you've got to cross the road." So I'd be playing this piano by myself, sat in this big school hall as a bloody 10-year-old kid. And just looking out the window to the lollipop lady, and she knew the situation kind of thing, so she'd probably give me 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then she'd wave to let me know she's ready to go home.
Yeah.
So then I'd go. So I taught myself to play the piano in that kind of situation. That's it.
You taught yourself how to play?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
mate,
never had a music lesson. It's all come from again. If it's in you, it's in you.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, when you got deep roots like that with your family, I think it's in you.
Jeez.
Anyway, my brother now doesn't play, and I'm the one that plays.
And you're the one, yeah.
Because I kept nicking his guitar.
I used to play a piano, but I had lessons, and I was always one of my best mates when I was growing up. Roy Thane. He is like you. He's just really musical, and he can literally just pick up any instrument, have a little fiddle with it, and boom, he can play it. And he plays by ear. He doesn't need to read the music. And I was always so jealous of the fact that he could just, sit at a keyboard or a piano or an organ and just, get this tune. And I'd be like, oh my God, that's amazing. I can't do that.
Yeah. Obviously, at 15 years old, at school, when all girls are about and stuff, all the cool guys were like, look at Piano Boy.
Yeah.
So it's not cool at all.
Yeah, but I bet all the girls loved it.
Well, but the thing that they do now. No, they don't. They don't. But again, like that. Yeah, if it's in you, if it's in your heart to do it.
Yeah.
Then you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, another music one. Martin Atkinson. You can only have one tune on your headphones when you're touring. What is it?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, I've got this. If you've ever or never heard of Chris Stapleton.
He's a country guy, isn't he?
Yeah, country guy. He's and it's not like a fad. It's not like as an artist. I mean, he's been writing in Nashville for, some of the biggest hits in the world, as an under the radar kind of bloke. And now he's brought several of his own albums out now. But honestly, I say he's been sent from a different place. He's not of this. He's not like at all into the fame thing, or he's a family guy. He's punching kids out with his wife left, right, and centre. I think they've got about 27 children at the moment.
Not much to do in an evening.
Yeah. And she sings backing vocals for him on stage.
Right.
But he's gone like so massive that everyone who's anyone wants to work with Chris Stapleton because he's just so magic. His songwriting is incredible. His voice is incredible. Oh my God! But he's so humble in every aspect of everything. He's not the star that he is. I've lost you again there, Bruce.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello.
Come in, Bruce. Are you there?
Hello, I can hear you.
Are you there?
I can hear you.
He's doing this on purpose. I'll play a song.
I can hear you, no problem at all.
He's gone.
What?
Oh well, I'll have a booze.
Hello? I can hear you, Rich. I can see you. Hello? Are you just doing this so you can play the guitar?
See my share of broken halos.
Could tell he's had a beer.
Little wings that used to fly. They've all gone wherever they go.
Absolutely any excuse.
Broken halos that used to shine. He's back.
I never went away.
There he is. There he is.
We've all just been sat here
watching. Musical interlude whenever I lose you.
We've all been sat here watching, going, hello,
technology.
hello.
Thank you, technology.
Any excuse at
there
all.
We are. We're back. There we go.
What we got here? Another one from Martin. Hey Richie, you often share a room with Egon. Have you ever woken up with your hand somewhere it really shouldn't be?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes is the answer to that.
I wasn't expecting that.
No, genuinely. I think this genuinely this not necessarily where it shouldn't have been.
Hang on, let me get comfortable. Right, go.
This was the beginning of the USA tour, so we were still in Gatwick, super excited. We'd had way too many beers because it's like your first night syndrome. You always get carried away on your first night, don't you? Yeah. So we're just about to head off to like this tour of unknown. We're going to America, for God's sake, with our own bikes. This is never done anything like it before. This is massive. In the hotel room in Gatwick, which were really nice. Egon woke me up in the middle of the night, like cowering against the corner of the bedroom. I'm like, mate, what's wrong? He's like, get off me. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, mate, your hands were all over me. So yeah, I basically fondled Egon, thinking I were going to get some.
Pretty sure there's offences.
Thinking it was either Egon or someone else.
He was whispering in Egon's ear, "Oh, TMF, oh, TMF." It's a good job it wasn't TMF, because he'd probably join in.
Yeah, yes.
Right, Dean Richardson. In a life or death situation, would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
Horse-sized duck, definitely.
Yeah.
One horse-sized duck.
It's just one thing, then, isn't it? Just one thing you've got to deal with.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that one.
Nice question.
Yeah. JR, hi Richie, really enjoyed your trip to Scotland in January. Just how cold was it on your body, and what heated clothing do you recommend?
Well, at the time, sorry, Bruce, what was his name again?
JR.
Right. JR, at the time, I mean, because I knew it was going to be freezing, I just got layers. I think the main thing really is layers.
Yeah.
Just like, I always wear base layers anyway, hot or cold, all the time. But I'd also got a Blazewear heater gilet, but it was a battery operated one, because I didn't think I wanted to be tethered to the bike. Mm-hmm. But on a trip like that, which I think were in the saddle for 14 hours or something, it was just it just weren't up to it at all. The battery lasts about 5 hours, I think. Beautifully warm. That's the only heated clothing I have. But it was amazing. It really was amazing. Apart from the time. Time. So the tether thing. A lot of people convinced me. I'd said many times that the tethering thing I didn't like, but a lot of people convinced me that it's actually quite simple. Yeah. And it just detaches, doesn't it? If you get off the bike, so it's not really an issue. So I think really the way forward is tethered.
It's tethering it in,
proper clothing, yeah. And I think Egon's got a jacket and he's got gloves, and Jimbo's got gloves, and they all swear by him. Yeah. And that's the only thing I really struggle with on the Scotland trip. My body were lovely, but the glove, you know, when it's absolutely freezing and your fingertips, there's nothing worse than your fingertips when they're hurting because they're so cold. Yeah. Obviously, your base of your hands are spot on because you've got your heated grips, but the fingertips, oh god, yeah, killed.
And then once you get somewhere and you start getting the blood back into your hat, the pain, the chilblains. I know,
chilblains.
Man, it does. Literally brings you to tears, doesn't
it? Yeah.
Right, we're now on to the Instagram questions. Ooh. So massive thank you to everybody who went to TeapotOne Insta over on Instagram there. First question is from Mr. Fish. It's from John, official Mr. Fish.
Mr. Fish. Is that his name, John, is it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
John? I can't wait to meet you, mate. It's I've got to say before we go any further, that video you did on your bloody back garden, oh my god,
on his little bike going round the back garden,
mate, that was so funny. Yeah, that was the best video I could have seen at that moment in time. It was so funny. And I was actually sat in my office like this. So yeah, I can't wait to meet you, mate. And absolute pleasure, brilliant.
He's a good lad, John. We'll get some stuff organised. I can tell.
Yeah.
Right, when is Vida?
And is an Africa twin boy.
He is. Yeah. He's a proper Honda guy, him. Yeah.
Good lad.
When is Richie going to get Bruce on a duet? Maybe a rap if you can't sing. Never. I know you should never say never, but never.
Well, the song that Bruce always asked me to play.
I can't believe you played it.
Get him to sing it. I can't believe you.
Smack my bed
on
shut.
The road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. Seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again. Feel free to join in, Bruce.
No.
No.
That was. Oh, mate, you've not smashed your guitar, have you?
No. What I did almost smash was.
Oh, is that Ultimate Add-ons?
Nope, it's not broke. Ooh. Thank God for that.
I thought you'd smashed the guitar.
No.
Well, that's the teaser sorted.
Well, Mr. Fish, I tried my best to get him to join in, but as you can see, is a shit house.
I am. Yeah. Sorry, John. I need a few more beers before that'll start happening. If you play Proclaimers 500 miles, I am there. Right. Aaron McCloy, don't you dare. When I wake up.
No, I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. Stand by your words.
I just did.
When I go out, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes out next to you.
I hate you, Vegas.
When I come home, well, I know I'm gonna be the man next to you. What's the next bit? If I go,
if I wave
well,
up,
I know I'm gonna be the man who comes up next to you. What's the chorus bit?
And I would walk 500 miles, and I would
keep going.
100 more, just to be the man who'd walk 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. No,
there's your duet.
It's the best bit coming up. We'll get done for copyright.
Good point.
No.
But yes, Mr. Fish, there's your duet.
Get done for copyright. The old, what you call them, the spiders or whatever they're called, they'll be like, what is that? I don't know what song that
is. Yeah, I'm not even going to...
Someone's just castrated a bear. What was that?
That's brilliant. That right there, folks, were magic.
Cheers, John. Right, Aaron McCloy, another one. If you're away on a European road trip and have a mechanical breakdown, what's your top recommendations for do's and don'ts? For example, should I try and contact the nearest garage myself, or should I contact my insurance straight away?
Okay, personally, the only thing you need in that situation is an Egon. that boy knows the inside and outside of any bike. He will fix it on the road in no time flat. He's brilliant. Honestly, he's brilliant. He just like and you know, excuse me, the wine's kicking in.
Yeah, good effort.
Egon will be like, I'll be like, oh my god, starting to flap about stuff.
Yeah.
You know, if it's someone in the team, whatever. Oh god, and Egon's like, it's all right, I just sort of, and he's so laid back. Honestly, he's such a good guy. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. But apart from that answer, I'll let Bruce jump in with the most sensible answer.
It's not often I'm the sensible one, so you're proper screwed, you are. If you haven't got an Egon, or you can't get your hands on an Egon, I would say the only thing you need if you have a breakdown is to make sure you've got recovery. So I will not go away on a trip unless I know I've got breakdown in place, so European breakdown generally. And first thing I'll do, if I know I can't get the bike running, then just phone up your breakdown. You won't need to speak foreign. You know, you'll go to a British call centre generally, you tell them where you are. Generally, they can trace you anyway via your GPS on your phone with a phone signal. But give them like a road name, what's the last village you went through, that sort of stuff, and they'll take those details and they handle everything. And literally, they assign it to a local breakdown recovery truck. And that comes and gets you. I mean, you had it, didn't you? You've had...
Yeah, yeah. And it is really as simple as that. It's just do get a good breakdown. You might think that you don't need it. We all break down, you know.
Yeah.
I'm on an oldish bike here, and you know, a brand new one can break down. It really doesn't matter. So just make sure you do. If you're going abroad, again, your travel insurance has got to be decent.
Yeah.
No point having, you know, if you can get it for £6. Doesn't mean to say that you should be getting it at £6.
There's a reason it's £6.
But you can get it at £6.
Mm.
You can. You just shouldn't do. The breakdown. I think my again, you know, we have it every year. Never going to need it, but it's one of those things, isn't it? I think it's about £90. The one that I used was RAC,
mm-hmm.
And they looked after me down to the T.
Yeah.
You know, I broke down in Biarritz on a running a tour, a Wildbad tour to Picos de Europa in Spain. And I had 17 riders, and my bike started acting up as soon as we arrived in Spain. And then every day, I kept losing power. So on the way back, ferries got cancelled, and that's one of the times when ferries do your refunds.
Yeah.
When they had a mechanical problem, so they couldn't put any bikes on the ferry. The ramp that drops down to the lower deck didn't work, so they couldn't put any bikes on. Therefore, refunding everybody, but also. Making every rider stuck in Spain have to ride back all the way from Spain back to England, you know. And my boat, the bike broke down in Biarritz, and I'd had enough because it had been doing it every day, and I remember I got a cold at the time, and I was just, you know, when you've constantly been like beat down, I'm like, oh, enough's enough. All the lads were like saying, well, listen, we can put this in there, and we can put that in there, and we'll get you back.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I've paid for insurance and breakdown, so you lads ride on, and this is what's going to happen. I'm going to, I'm going to sit it out and see what happens.
Yeah.
And although I was sat in Biarritz for a couple of days, every penny were covered. I had no issues whatsoever.
That's good.
The repayment took a while to come, but you know, after 60 days or whatever, so you might have to pay for it up front,
and then they reimburse you.
They reimburse it.
Yeah. So keep your receipts.
Keep your receipts, but keep your receipts. But you're obviously with that, you have to send your receipts into them so they can, you know, verify it.
Yeah.
But it's all covered. But do make sure that you've got the best breakdown that you can get. And it will look after you. It really will.
Yeah.
Hotel rooms, taxes. I didn't pay for a penny. Nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other thing is travel insurance, like you said. And I'm not sure what the state of play. I think at the moment the old EHIC, the old E111.
E111, yeah.
Yeah, I think that form that's still in place at the moment. That basically means that, or your EHIC card, so your European health card, and it basically means you are entitled to the same health care as a national of whatever country you're in. So say you go to Spain and you need to go to the hospital or you need to go to the doctors and get some treatment for something, say you've broken your arm or whatever. If you have this EHIC card, then you will get exactly the same level of care as a Spanish person would there, which, believe it or not, Spanish health system's really good, so you'll get good healthcare there. And it's the first thing they ask. The second you get scooped up at the side of the road by an ambulance, the first thing they'll ask for is, do you have your EHIC card? They'll want to see it. I've seen it in action. Not for me, but for somebody else. Right.
So yeah, breakdown insurance is very important, and don't never assume that your bike's going to be okay, because you never know. You never know. Anything can happen, basically.
Yeah. Right, fingaz.cooge. How has being on YouTube changed your riding habits and attitude to why you ride now?
Well, I've always... What's his name?
Fingaz Cooge.
Fingaz?
Fingaz. Fingaz. Fingaz Cooge.
Fingaz. Well, I've never been. In fact, when I first started doing my videos, I used to make little like disclaimers saying, please don't expect any form of stunt riding or anything fancy, because I'm not that kind of person at all. I'm going to be probably fairly boring. I'm just going to ride. I just basically love riding and taking pictures of the countryside, and that's it. You know, so I've never really been one to. Okay, I have fun when I can, but I've never been one to be a dick basically on the road, and I just don't like that at all. And Bruce will agree with this. Sometimes you'll go out and you'll have bikers overtaking you, and you think, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you overtaking there? It's totally not safe to do it. But a lot of people or a lot of bikers assume that just because you're on a bike that's most probably very, very quick, you can just zip in and out of these places. But you're going to get unstuck one day, aren't you?
Yeah, it'll happen. I mean, I used to ride much more spirited than I do now, and I've had accidents, as we all know, and each time the first couple of times, I've got to admit, I did think to myself, well, it wasn't me. It was just a freak. It was just bad luck, and it didn't stop me. But then, you know, in the last sort of 3 or 4 years, when I've been involved in stuff, it has made me certainly look at my riding and really appraise my riding and think, right, there's got to be a reason why this keeps happening.
I've lost him again.
Oh, I'm here. Can you see me now?
There he goes.
Yeah.
Come in, Bruce.
I can hear you.
Oh, yeah, there.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello?
Lost him again, folks.
I'm here.
Come on, Brucey. Let's have you back.
I'm watching you.
There he is.
Mate, You're
Way
there
back.
the entire time.
Oh.
I can see you and hear you, no problem at all.
Can you?
Yeah, no worries.
dear.
Every time. So
So,
I don't know.
so every time I've lost you, you
Yeah,
can see me clear.
We're sat here having a conversation going, what's he doing?
So I'm wondering if maybe my as I said to you before, my garage router is kicking in and out of the house
one.
router. I don't know, but anyway, I apologise to that, folks, if it's causing and I apologise to you if it's causing you grief. But anyway,
I'd imagine it's probably my end, mate, because I've said to you before, my internet is terrible here. It's like...
well, it's a good point, actually. I've got 40 seconds left on my file transfer, so we'll stop it there.
Right, I'm going to go and grab a beer.
I'm going to go to the little boy's room, so it might be a while. Right. We'll see you in half an hour or so.
Bugger off. 3, 2, 1, see you soon.
He's gone. Brucey, oh Brucey. I will say this while he's gone. I can hear myself talking on his phone. Hang on 1 second. My file's about to change. I'm going to do it very quick. Hang on. Stop the timer. I will say this while he's gone. It's so lovely to have Bruce back on the air. Obviously, he's gone through a lot of shit this year. He's such a lovely, lovely, lovely bloke. I'm gutted, actually, that it's happened. But I've always said everything happens for a reason, so I'm sure something good will come of this. Oh, it's coming. I've got to go.
What were you doing? Hello? You got another bottle. Good effort. All right, have you synced up your audio?
Sorry if the... One sec.
Have you synced your audio?
Let me set my timer going. Start. Sorry if the delay, folks. I had to nip to the shop and get another bottle.
He was having a poo.
Someone recommended this to me. It's called Jam Shed. It's either going to be really nice. Jam Shed. Have you ever heard of that?
No, never.
Me neither. But someone recommended it, so I thought I'd try it.
Do you remember that wine that was Pete English sent it, didn't he, in Toro to Linden? What was it?
Mate.
Chocolate wine or something?
Chocolate wine. Well,
it was amazing. Cheers, Pete.
Yeah, cheers, Pete. As you know, I had Pete's Husqvarna for a bit.
Yeah.
It's gone. It came and took it off me.
How dare he? His own bike.
Thanks, Pete. You know, I didn't even get a chance to ride it. No, because of the lockdown, obviously, I couldn't ride it anyway. And Pete just said he's got like acres of land directly behind his house.
Yeah, I've seen some of his vids.
He won't see a single person. So he said, "Would you mind if I come to get it back?" I'm like, "Mate, sure, bye. Just come and take it." He's such a lovely bloke. Pete, I'm so glad to call you a mate. You're a lovely, lovely bloke. Anyway, the chocolate wine that he gave to Lyndon, when he came down to collect the bike, came to the house, got the bike, brought me a bottle of this chocolate wine. He did, yeah.
It was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oops, I've just got a low battery warning on my phone.
Oh, God. You should have it plugged in. Never mind.
I should have had it. If I'd have thought about it, I maybe would have plugged it in now.
Right, okay then. In that case, we will pick up the pace a bit. What have we done? We've done 2 hours, but an hour and a half of that was waiting for you to have a poo. So, right.
Camel syndrome, I told you.
Camel syndrome, yeah. Right, we have Ovi. I'm really sorry, I can't pronounce. Ovesandve. Ovsandv. I don't know what that means. Anyway, question, Bruce.
Well, not to offend, but I'll call you Ovs.
Ovs. That's what we'll do. Ovs. Bruce, what would it take for you to restore the beast, the Jigsaw, and why don't you do it? Well, it needs, to get it through the MOT, to make it roadworthy again, it would need new fairings, because basically most of the fairings are held on with bungee cords. It's cable tied, sort of stitched, the fairings together, and a cargo net.
And this is because of things that happened on the tour?
Yeah, just dropping the bike, off-roady stretches with the vibration, like going down rocks and stuff. And just over time, the plastics just vibrate and they snap off. So they would all need to be replaced, and I'm not willing to lose the fairings that were on the bike.
No.
So there's that. Now I think it would probably need the fluids redone in the shock and in the... the fluids in the forks would need redone, I'd imagine. So it would need that. It would need a good old service. But the engine runs no problem. You know, change the oil on it and she would fire up no problem. But she's just there now. You know, I would love just to take it out for a nice little ride every now and then. And
I'm going to say, do you fire it up? Did you say yeah?
She would fire up. I've not ridden her since 2015, the book launch. So July 2015, I think it was. Excuse me. That was the last time I rode the bike.
Personally, you can't interfere with how it looks now.
Mm-mm. No,
you can't, can you? You can't.
No.
The bike that you have now in your garage is the bike that brought you back. That's
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
If you start just to get it through a pissy MOT that you know every bike can have, it's not going to be the same bike anymore.
Nah, of course it's not. I mean, she is like Trigger's broom, but she's my Trigger's broom. You know, each part of that broom, I know. The stories as
Trigger's
to
broom.
Yeah, you know, there's like the stories as to why certain bits of the fairing are hanging off, and I remember those stories. So you know, I don't want to lose that.
They've got to stay. They've got to stay, mate. They've got to stay, definitely.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that's what you've got to do.
Yeah. Next question to both of us. Why do you think there are so many vloggers active in the UK?
It's a desire. It might be. I mean, let me just say, I didn't start doing what I do because I wanted to be anything at all. I just knew that I had something in me that I wanted to share. You know, riding the bike in the countryside, taking photos and sharing that, but not being. You know, not being. No, I never wanted to be this or be that. I just enjoy doing it, and if you enjoy what I do, then I'm happy to do it.
Absolutely, yeah. You just be yourself.
So I don't know why there's so many. I don't know. Yeah, you just be yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I did it just because I like the interaction you get with this. You know, I like the interacting with people and quite on social media when you're out on the bike and stopping and chatting with people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I love all that.
But when you started, Bruce, what were the starting point for you?
Around the world trip.
For instance, that was the start.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you knew that you had to document that. So you were in a very documentative. You knew that was going to have to happen.
I thought to myself, I should document this because I want to be able to look back on it, and also the long way around gave me the idea to do this. You know that it was seeing them do it that made me think.
Same for me. Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'm doing it on a sports bike. You never know. Maybe somebody would pick this up. Maybe it would get picked up. But for me, it was like, well, I want my son to have a documentation as to what I did and where I went and what I went through and my family and my friends.
I've said this.
So that was the idea.
It's a bit of a morbid way to look at it, but you're leaving like a legacy, if you like, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know,
because to be honest with you, I mean, without wanting to be dramatic, I didn't know if I'd come back from that trip. I didn't. At the time, I didn't. Now I've done it. I know there's generally, you know, unless you're really unlucky, there's nothing to it. You're just getting on a bike and you're riding. You said before, mindset. If you've got the mindset, you'll do it. But things do happen. But you know, you could walk out your house tomorrow and get run over. These things happen.
Exactly. You've got to think like that really with things like this. You know, people are like. You know, going off into this, especially Bruce's thing. You know, before we did our American thing, people were getting in my head massively. You know, like comments because I did like a leading up to.
Yeah.
And making these videos saying, you know, all the prep work and showing all the documents and all that kind of stuff. And people like, let's see who the first one is to get shot.
Yeah.
You know, and things like that. And then I'm thinking, you know, have I missed something? Have I missed something along the way where I'm... But it's just everyone's like negativity. We're getting into my head, and I'm thinking, oh God, and I was panicking like mad, for no reason really. You know, the tour went without hitch, start to finish. We had hiccups, but nothing serious at all. But it was just. I just remember thinking, I can't remember what I remember thinking. Wine's kicked in. I don't know where we're going with that.
What you were saying there, what you were saying there about other people having an influence on it, I was like that in West Africa. Like I remember.
Not being worried about doing it.
Yeah, I was sat in a hotel. I can't remember which, some Moroccan city near the coast, north of Marrakesh, way north of it, and I was doing a little bit of research online to see what like Mauritania was going to be like, because I'd heard about this Islamic uprising, the Boko
that's
Haram.
no go area at the moment. Isn't it?
So I'd heard a little bit about it. So I was online on the Horizons Unlimited, the hub forum, and I was asking, is anyone there at the moment? Has anyone been through it? Loads of people were messaging back going, yeah, it's no problem, I've been through there, it's a little bit iffy at the border, but it's all right. I was there 5 months ago, 6 months ago, 4 months ago, all this. Then one guy privately messaged me and said, I went through it last week, it's hell on earth, do not go there, you'll be lucky to get through. And
one person?
One person, and I'm not kidding you, I was shitting myself after that. I was just like, oh my God, can I ship over it? What can I do? And then I thought, no, grow a pair, go for it. But the whole once I got into Mauritania and it all started going wrong, that guy was in my head then, and that's all I kept thinking was, oh my God, it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse. And it defeated me. It just defeated me. So learning from that, from then on, it was like, yes, you need to take advice on board. You need to have that in your mind to realise there are things that might happen here, but don't let it influence you. Don't until you see it with your own eyes. Just don't take someone as gospel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, people have got into my head massively, and you've covered the bases, haven't you? You're not going to go into this blind at all. Yeah. But someone, I remember that one person, again, that you were just referring to, on mine, it was like, well, good luck doing this, good luck doing that, but you just check to wait till you see you going through the USA border with a team of lads that are expecting you to, look after them. Yeah. And I thought, oh no. So that had stuck in my head. Yeah. When we actually got to the USA border.
Piece of piss.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I just thought, approaching it, I could hear this voice going, yeah. And this guy was just like, yeah, mate, yeah, no problem, yeah. Oh wow, what are you doing? Where are you going? And what are you doing? It was as cool as cucumber, really was.
And that person that put that seed in your head, they have never done anything like that, because in their head, it's too difficult. You can't do it. So they don't want anyone else to do it.
It's out of reach. What are you doing thinking that you can do this? It's out of reach. Yeah, exactly that, yeah.
But anyway, to answer your question of why do I think there's so many vloggers, I think God, why are there so many vloggers? I think there's maybe a couple of reasons. One is people might look at the likes of us on YouTube that are doing this, and we get the opportunity to go to, we go down to Toro, we get opportunities to go places, we go away ourselves on trips, don't we? You and I have a sort of our own tour companies that we take people away on trips and stuff, so they maybe see us doing all this stuff and think, that looks a great laugh, and then you do get given some kit every now and then. It's not a never-ending supply, don't think like that, but you do get given some kit sometimes. And then there's other times, like, my 360 cameras, I bought them myself. My GoPros, I bought them myself. You don't get given stuff like that.
Same.
Some do, some don't. But so they might look at all this and think, oh, well, you're getting given all this free kit, I'm going to get into that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, good point.
But a lot of people, I think, don't appreciate, not the woe is me here, I'm not saying that, but a lot of people don't appreciate the level of work that goes into this.
It's not as simple as this episode was sponsored by Jam Shed, and like you get an unlimited supply of Jam Shed just by listen, we're not on like the Kardashian kind of,
we're not like TMF level, we are not like TMF.
We're not TMF, are we? That guy can just like put shoelaces on his thing and gets £1 million.
But the ridiculous thing is, Andy, even at his level, he's not He's not batting people away. He's not batting sponsors away. It's insane.
It's really not what people think.
No.
Or people see, the odd freebie here and there, and you've got to imagine that freebies are like they're not really freebies. We've got to do something in return for that freebie. It's not as if it's like, I'll have it and enjoy it.
Yeah. And yet you still have to maintain your integrity as well, don't you? So
exactly.
It's that delicate balance.
Yeah. You can't very well have a freebie and then say this is absolute bollocks. Well, you could, I suppose, but then you'd never get another freebie off them.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that, you've got to look after, like Bruce was saying, your integrity. And I'd rather, my channel is precious to me, so there's no product, no matter how much it costs, that's going to sway my decision on that.
Absolutely, yeah.
My channel's a channel. The audience is something I've built, same as you, that you care about. So why would you even think about telling your audience something that's not true?
Yeah, I totally agree.
At the risk of blowing it all. I'm not into that at all.
Right. You don't need to answer this if you don't want. Gilo46. What does Mr. Vida do for a living, if he doesn't mind sharing? And he loves both of our channels, by the way.
I don't think I've ever hidden it. I've just... it's not something I want to really... I'm not happy with just like sharing and telling everybody my life and what I do for everything. So please understand it's nothing fancy in any way. But I'm just not really excited about sharing what I do.
To be honest, if I was a male prostitute, I probably wouldn't be shouting from the rooftops as well.
Exactly. But you should see some of the ladies. Jesus Christ.
Ladies, yeah, all right.
Ladies.
Not that there's anything wrong with that,
no,
obviously.
Honestly, there's nothing fancy or, obviously I do the music thing. I've got the
traffic
band, so I've got three
warden.
I've got 3 businesses. One is music, one is Wildbad, and the other is something else.
Right.
We'll leave it at that.
Right. Okay.
Well, thank you anyway.
We've got one from Mick to Greek, 2007. Where's he gone?
Exactly.
You always get asked that. Where's he gone?
Exactly. The first time, in fact, I'll tell you where that came from. A mate of mine, bass player in a band I was in when I was probably, 18, 19, 20. He actually just randomly said it, and it stuck in my head. He just randomly said it one day. Where's Egon? Nothing to do with, Egon. And he just said it. Where's Egon? Egon. And I just thought, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. So, Dougie, should you ever hear this, which I'm pretty sure you never will because you're not into this kind of thing, thank you, my friend, because that's come from you. So anyway, so the first tour I went on with Rob, my neighbour, Rob, not my neighbour anymore, lovely boy, as you know. I remember thinking, where the hell is he? We pull up all the time to do this. Where the hell is he? He's always disappearing. So I just kept saying, where's Egon? And I just start going, Egon! Calling him Egon. So
is that where Egon comes from?
That's where Egon comes from, yeah.
Oh, man, right.
Yeah.
That took me a while to catch up with that.
Actually. So, yeah, where's he gone? We stood here waiting for him. Where is he? Where's he gone? Egon!
That's genius. That's brilliant.
But this is a full-on mind spin. His name's not even Rob. It's Michael.
What? Okay. I've had way too many beers to get into this.
Me too. I'm not even gonna carry on with that. I'll just let people let that soak in.
Right. Okay.
It's honestly, it's a full on. But I will let you know that I love the boy dearly.
He's a good boy. Right, we are now on to the Facebook questions. Brian Jones.
Brian.
This one's to you, Rich. What is your best value for money hotel, and whose idea was it to have the GGLP cover in the Christmas vid? Epic.
GGLP cover? What's GGLP cover?
I don't know.
In the Christmas vid? Come on, Brian, help me out here.
You did a Christmas vid, though, didn't you? You did one in the pub with a whole load of people. I remember watching that.
What's GGLP?
I don't know.
Shake.
I don't know.
I know what it is. Right. Can you just read that question again? I know exactly what it is now. It's just soaked in. Brian, you shithouse.
What has his best value for money hotel been, and whose idea was it to have the GGLP cover in the Christmas vid? Epic.
Right. Okay, so part 1 to that. Hotel Infantado. Oh, I want to jump in actually on this. Infantado is brilliant. Great bar, great restaurant, superb food actually, cheap as chips, massive car park, and the area is so people are like, oh,
he's on commission.
What's people will think that as well.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. We do. Just for the record, we do not get these places cheaper at all. No. We just don't. But Infantado is absolutely perfect. I think it's just outside Potes, which is a lovely little village. Mm-hmm. Beautiful bars, restaurants. It's fantastic. It's just a little walk in, and it's a massive car park. The whole area is so safe. You know, you must have had people asking you before. What about security? Honestly, folks, you can leave your keys in. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about it.
I have had people that I've been away with, mates, and they've left the keys in the bike by accident. Gone back the next day, bike's still there, no problem.
It's a brilliant area. It really is. But with me saying Infantado, the last one of yours that I watched, and you were in Valdecoro?
Yes, just down the road.
That looked amazing.
It was awesome, but it's not on Booking.com anymore. It's it's not on Booking.com. It's another, I think, like a local Spanish type website. So,
okay.
But yeah, it was amazing. Great place. The room was stunning.
I know that's what I mean. The room looked massive and it looked really nice.
It was like a full-on suite.
In comparison to Infantado, what we're talking? I don't mean price, but
not price. I would still go Infantado because Infantado has the bar. It's got a restaurant and much more homely feel. As a biker, I feel at home in Infantado. The other one at Valdecoro, or whatever it was called, it's a bit posher. So when we got there, you know, they weren't. There was no one behind you.
It was a bit too posh. I didn't feel welcome.
Yeah, it kind of did feel like that, to be honest. You know, the bar wasn't open. There was no.
Yeah.
I think they've got a restaurant, but there was no one in it. So we went into town anyway to get food. Yeah. Whereas at Infantado, you turn up and you're made to feel very welcome. You know, and you know,
definitely, yeah. Again, that's the first time I've used it last year's trip, and it was just brilliant. It was really brilliant. Great. And she said to me as well, are you rich? Mm-hmm. I said yes. You know, wild bad. You know, I said I'm the one who's booked it. Yes, me. Yeah. Okay, you're room 1. Have you been in room 1?
No, I don't think I have.
It's amazing.
Is it?
She must have thought, because you're the one that's booked it, you can have the best room.
Right, gotcha. No, I normally get sent right up into the gods. I've got the Harry Potter room right on the roof.
It was lovely. But anyway, that was the first part to Brian's question. Second part to Brian's question, mate. The guy that held the GGLP up is also a musician. Obviously, he was singing in it. And we just thought it'd be funny. And the line of the song was, play all the songs that you used to listen to. We can't listen to GGLPs anymore, can we? But for those that don't know what GGLPs are, you'll have to figure it out yourself. But
that's not fair. Come on.
It was a bloody great Christmas song, let me tell you that. Right. Well, sadly, we can't listen to them anymore. But I will send this to Dan Waltz, singer of Lick Squid. Should you see this? Well done, my friend. That was your idea. Well done. But yeah, basically we did a Christmas video for Vida back in 2014 of Shakin' Stevens' "Merry Christmas, Everyone," and I reel it out every Christmas. Obviously, with it's basically I produced the whole video and the music and got loads of my local musicians to sing on it and do bits on it and play guitar on it and stuff like that. So it's actually mega. So if you ever get a chance to listen to it, I hope you enjoy it.
Right, Richard Higgett. I thought Richie's tour up to the Lofoten Islands in Norway was his best trip, but what trip does Richie think was his best?
Thank you, Richard. Again, I think because the American thing was so special and not normal, or easily attainable, I think that's got to sit at the top of the tree always. But the Norway thing was amazing. It was amazing.
Stunning, isn't it?
We had terrible, terrible, terrible weather the whole way up, and it really battered us. By the day we got on the ferry at Boda to go on to Lofoten, I think we'd all pretty much, I really can't wait to get in my hotel room so I don't have to look at you again.
Yeah.
I'll happily hold my hand up and say, I had tantrums and whatever. The thing is, when you're out on tour, you always do, you're living with someone for 2 weeks. You're going to have conflicts of interest, aren't you?
Yeah. Sorry, that was my wife just popping in. Sorry.
Hiya, Mrs. Teapot.
She's gone. Keep your hands where I can see in Vegas.
But you're always going to have conflicts of interest. But really, so morale was so low by the time we got to the ferry across the fjord to Lofoten. But then we reached Lofoten, and honestly, it was just the paradise that you dreamed of.
It's like a storybook place, isn't it?
Oh.
It's just breathtaking.
Oh, I just could not believe how amazing and how perfect the place was. And yeah, that will always, when I did the ride through the midnight sun. How often can you ride your motorbike?
I know, yeah.
At midnight, with the sun up there.
Yeah, I remember when I was there. I remember I was staying with a family that got in touch through Facebook, some bikers, and they said, right, we'll take you to this place where you can watch the midnight sun. So we went there, and it's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and there's people on the beach with sunglasses on, and everyone's just sat there with beers and smoking dobies and stuff. And you watch the sun come down. It literally comes down, just touches the sea, and then goes straight back up again. You're like, this is amazing.
It was very weird.
Yeah.
When we're not used to doing it or seeing it, but so beautiful to be able to. Again, it's not like a normal bike ride, is it?
No.
And there's no way that I'm not riding my bike to see that as a midnight sun ride, to see the midnight sun.
It's just got to be done, isn't it? It just has to be done. Yeah.
Well, Bruce, I will tell you that my phone said I've got less than 10% left.
Oh, God. Right, so we're going to have to wrap this up pretty damn quick. Okay. Here's a good one by Martin Chandler. When this is all over, you have a choice between taking your beloved out for a romantic meal to the best restaurant you can find, or going on a 2-week throttle-mashing tour of the best roads in Europe. What bike would you use?
Excuse me one second, Bruce. Sorry? So, Mrs. Vida's just come in. Say again.
Hi, Mrs. Vida.
Pardon? Do you want to just come and say hello to everybody?
No.
Well, people are expecting it now, so just come and say hello. She's scared.
Come on, Mrs.
She's scared.
Vida.
She don't know what to say. Come on, Mrs. Vida, come and say hello. Don't come here. She's putting a self-isolation mask on.
I wish you'd done that.
You can't.
Hello, Mrs. Vida.
Hi.
How are you?
Bruce can see her, but I don't think you lot can.
Right.
Anyway.
Thank you.
He's definitely punching, folks. Definitely punching.
Anyway, so what was the question?
Oh, I'm not going through that again. It's that joke that's doing the rounds. When all this is over, you have a choice between taking your beloved out for a romantic meal to the best restaurant you can find, or going
What's the next one? What's the next one?
Next what?
Option.
All right, yeah. B, yeah. Or going on a 2-week throttle mashing tour of the best roads in Europe. What bike would you use? He doesn't get it. Do you know what I mean? Nice lad. Thick as.
Well.
Okay, we'll crack through then. Okay, there's one for you. Tony Brown, when this virus does one, where are you all going on the next big tour?
Well, we were due to have our annual season opener, which is Aberystwyth. We do it every year just to west coast of Wales, because it's basically as soon as spring arrives, everyone's so excited. So we chuck the tents on, we bugger off on the bikes,
Nice.
and it's lovely. And I was so looking forward to it, and that's in about 2 weeks. Obviously, it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm genuinely gutted, but and that's what I had the KTM for as well.
Was it?
I don't know.
It needs something big. This. I mean, I'm hitting the road. I am.
Yeah, it does need something big and something special.
I know.
For us all to say like, yes, we're back.
I know. I said I wouldn't do it again, but I'm going to mention Patreon one more time. On Patreon, you can set certain goals so that when you hit a certain level, whether that's the amount of patrons, like the amount of patrons who are there, or like a monetary value, when you get to a certain pledge amount, you can say, right, that's this goal reached, and in return I'll do that. So I set a couple of goals. My next goal, when I hit a certain amount, I was going to hit the road for 10 days for a Europe-wide trip, and I would go, the people on Patreon, the clan, they'll decide where to go, what to do, all that sort of stuff. So I've hit that, and I have to hit the road, but obviously the virus has all happened, and I can't do that now. So I still have to do that, and that will be my thing, is I want to do that, a big sort of 10-day trip around Europe. Just, I don't know where, it'll be entirely down to everybody in Patreon. I think before that happens, there'll have to be a UK one. We should all tie up for something, I think.
Well, what you just said would be brilliant, and you're the man basically to do that. You're the man that does 800 miles in a day, no problem. I'll do that before dinner.
Well, you're going to have to do that. You will have to put in big miles to get to places so that you can then spend time with people. So,
but it will make a lovely video, and it will be a privilege to be able to do it. It would be fantastic. It would. Yeah. But we definitely all need to do something together as a group.
Yeah.
Myself, you, TMF. TMF's another one of these that pretends that he doesn't like to do it. He genuinely loves it, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he does. He
genuinely loves it. And I tell you, you will not meet a funnier guy than TMF.
Yeah. He is a scream, and he's I'm not blowing smoke up the bloke's arse. He is genuinely a very genuine, nice guy, but he's funny as fuck. He really is a proper laugh, isn't he?
Yep. When we first met up at the first Toro thing, the next day we're all like that. Because I had people saying to me,
comes out his mouth, you're just like,
I don't know what TMF's going to be like. You probably won't get on very well. You're not the same kind of person. Blah blah blah. And honestly, folks, I and I'm sure Bruce will agree. We hold that man as a close mate. He's such a funny bloke.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, scream.
He's a brilliant bloke.
So I think when we all get freedom again, we should mark that with something big. We should do some big.
I think so.
A little run somewhere, because Chopsy can't do. We give Chops a lot of stick, don't we? But Chopsy can't do the big trips away.
Yep.
Like we can. He's not got as much freedom. He does do the trips.
Obviously, he can't go too far because he's tagged.
Yeah.
But before we go any further, can I, just in case my phone runs out, can we do the sign off? We'll do a sign off and then we'll carry on. But at least we get a sign off.
I reckon we are 2.5 hours now anyway, mate. So we'll do one more question and then that'll do us. Yeah. Right. Okay. How about that? Okay, this one will do for the end. Paul Winston Harvey, best and worst moment on a tour, and what's your go-to on the chippy run?
So 3 questions. 3. Okay, brilliant. Best go-to. Best go-to is in best moment.
No, I think your best moment on a tour, worst moment on a tour, and what is your go-to for the chippy run?
Okay, best moment on a tour. Best personally has to be on the I-40. I think I'm right in saying that. You American folks will correct me if I'm wrong. On the I-40 heading west from Tennessee into Nashville. In Tennessee, heading from Knoxville into Nashville, and hearing Willie Nelson on the radio on the road again.
Yeah, baby.
Knowing that tonight I am going to be in Nashville, a dream that I've had since I was a kid, and I made the dream happen of playing on stage on Broadway with a full band. That's got to be my best moment.
That's pretty special.
The worst moment. Worst moment. Okay, Norway tour. Again, on the way up, before we got to the Lofoten Islands, I was saying the morale was so low. It was so low. We'd gone to a supermarket. Something as simple as this, because morale was out of the question. It was at lowest point completely. We're going to a supermarket to get provisions for the night, and we were having an argument over this beer or this beer, because this beer costs, I don't know, let's say equivalent of like 20p, 30p different to this one. And we're arguing about it. Yeah, but this one's cheaper. Yeah, should we get two of these? But it's going to work. And I was like, oh my God. Honestly.
Such a mundane thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I had a full-on tantrum. I was chucking beers back into the fridge. I was kicking them. I was so upset. I completely lost it. But once we got back to the apartment and we're all sharing drinks and eating food and having a good laugh, playing games, I apologised to everybody.
Yeah.
You know, if you know, I was completely in the wrong because I had a full-on tantrum, and I really did. I apologise to everyone. It clears the air. You're all good to go again for the next day. But I will say that if you're on tour with someone, you will, for a long time, like for a week or 2 weeks, you will fall out with someone on that tour, and you will though.
Yeah.
You do, because you're living with someone that you don't know or perhaps don't even really like. For a week or two, you've got to be the bigger man and apologise. Or woman, sorry, yeah, a woman.
Or not sure.
And apologise. Or not sure. Let's not go there, Bruce. Jeez. And apologise. You know, I apologised and cleared the air. Everyone was fine with me. I was fine with everybody else. But if you're going to be one of these people that just cause grief for everybody, don't book to come on these tours.
Yeah, basically.
That's the best advice.
Yeah.
And what was the third part of that question?
What's your go-to on the chippy run?
Matlock Bath. The Peak District. Matlock Bath is the place to be for fish and chips. 100%. Simple.
I'm going to take you up on that. We're going to go for a chippy one day.
Good.
Right.
Well, you're going to come up here and you're going to assess it to your chippies.
Yes, because you might be able to tell that I'm no stranger to a chippy. So, we'll come up and we'll sample that. We'll see. Right, well, dude.
I look forward to the outcome of your decision.
Right, you're on. Mate, that's 2.5 hours.
Wow.
That's
I can't believe 2.5 hours.
I told you that would fly by.
I cannot believe 2.5 hours has gone by. All we've been doing is chatting and getting drunk.
And getting pissed as a fart.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, and I've got I'm a bottle and a half of wine down, so...
Mate, I've absolutely loved it. I have loved it. We'll do this again. Definitely. Have you enjoyed it?
I've loved it.
Brilliant.
You know, all I'm doing is sitting here talking to my mate.
Exactly. Yeah, love it. And there's loads of questions we haven't gone through, so I'm really sorry if we haven't got to your question yet, folks. But we'll do that next time.
We'll try to do a part 2 or point 2 or whatever you call these things. But mate, it's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you very much for asking me. And I can't wait to see you whenever we are allowed to do so. And it's a pleasure to call you a mate.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Totally. Oh, you'll never believe this. His battery has gone. That's Richy gone. Right, folks, we'll have to leave it at there. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed this, having a good chat with Rich. He's a top man. If you haven't checked out any of Richy's Vidas yet, head over to his channel. I'll leave some links down below. And share the love. Give him a wee subscription. Folks, I keep saying this in these. I hope you are all staying safe and well. We will get through this. It will end. It will end. And when it does, we are going to party. All right, folks, look after yourselves. Look after those that you love. But most importantly, remember, live your life. We'll get through it.